The gloves are off in the championship. Who can stop Johan Kristoffersson in Latvia? Hello and welcome to the FIA World Rallycross Championship presented by Monster Energy. Round 10 sees us in Riga. This is the second time the championship has visited the Latvian capital, and despite the weather in 2016, the venue was an instant success. We may have 3 rounds left this season, but 3 championships could be concluded here. Whatever happens, it's going to be a nail-biter all weekend. Last round saw us at the amazing Loiac. Let's take a look back at round 9, France. 70,000 fans made the pilgrimage to the tiny French village across the weekend, and everybody wanted to see one man win. The legend Sébastien Loeb didn't disappoint. He led the overnight standings and lined up on row 2 for the final, behind his teammate 2015 winner Timmy Hansen and the championship leader Johan Kristoffersson. Off the start, and Kristoffersson crucially made it into the first corner first. But Hansen was nose to tail, pushing hard and waiting for a mistake. Lap 2, and in the wet conditions, it was Hansen who ran wide, and to the delight of the fans, Loeb slipped into second. Kristoffersson took advantage and opened a gap, but Loeb was relishing the wet conditions and pushing hard for the home win. The deficit, though, was just too much. And after the jokers played out, Johan Kristoffersson crossed the line and set a new World RX record of 4 consecutive wins. Loeb may have been beaten, but Peugeot looked to have closed the performance gap, and all eyes turned to Latvia for the potential championship showdown. Well, the numbers tell the story. A huge lead for Kristoffersson with 5 wins and 2 second places to his name so far this campaign. He's also been on every podium bar round 1 in Spain, 8 in a row, which is another new record. PSRX Volkswagen Sweden increased their lead to 112 points over Team Peugeot Hansen. If the margin is the same or increased come the podium here in Latvia, PSRX will be crowned champions in their debut season. Quite remarkable. Kristoffersson can also be crowned world champion here in Riga. The problem is he has 3 former world champions trying to stop him.
It's not over yet. He still needs some points to win it, so I think he has done just a really good job by getting everything together and not being in any problems or crashes or anything.
For sure that it's possible to win this championship already in Latvia. There's nothing that we focus on. We actually focus on to help each other to secure the team championship. And then also our main goal is to be able to be P1 and P2 in the Drivers' Championship as well.
I'm actually very happy for him, If I was 28 years old, I don't know if I would have been so happy. But for this time, that the Drivers' Championship is one thing, but the Team Championship victory is the highest on my list because I don't have it.
I put a lot of pressure on myself, but I don't feel pressure from the outside really. So I mean, we are a team, everyone is working together, and this is something that feels very nice when we are comfortable in the team, and then you don't feel pressure.
This is how the season looks so far for the top 4 in the Drivers' Championship. It was a fantastic 3-race winning start to the season for Mattias Ekström, seeing him lead for the first 4 rounds, but he didn't score another podium until France, so the reigning champ lies 3rd. And sat proudly at the top for the last 5 rounds is Johan Kristoffersson. The chasing pack would be wise to take advice from Solberg, whose title ambitions died here last season in a moment that will stay long in the memory for the Norwegian. They must push hard, but not too hard. Kristoffersson currently leads Solberg by 46 points. He needs a difference of 60 to be champion here. He leads Ekström by 61, and he needs that extra point as Ekström is the only driver who could still equal him on number of wins. Should the 2 be level on points and wins come the final in South Africa, Kristoffersson would take the title on 2nd place countback. And finally, Sébastien Loeb. The Frenchman is currently 72 points behind and must reduce that margin by at least 17 points here if he wants to stay in the championship fight.
Plan is always the same. I don't focus really on classification of the championship. I just try to do my best in each hit, in each race, and try to prepare it as well as possible and do my best. So at the end of the weekend, we will count the points.
We'll go here and try and win the race. I'm very positive. Now it's just individual race wins and trying to get the big trophy that really counts, because the title race, we are a bit far away.
And Tom Markland has an 18-point advantage over Thomas Brinterson in the European Supercar Championship. This is the final round, so if Markland is just 14 points clear after qualification, he will be the champion.
It would mean a lot, for sure. I think to win the European Championship this year would be very nice, just because it was 2012 was the last time I had a championship title. Then it was in touring car. This year I'm racing against Rusta and Robin Larsen, who is before have been the champions in supercar, and for me it would be making me and the team very proud to be crowned champions now this year.
That's the maths for the title challenges. Let's take a look at the track where they make talk into results. Latvia and Bikanieki, the old Russian circuit which has been turned into the benchmark for World Rallycross tracks. 60% asphalt, 40% dirt. High grip, just like Loak, on board with Nitish into turn one, the left-hander, and then turn two, the right, before it then has a long left up past the grandstands, which will be packed this weekend, particularly, of course, for Nitish and Baumanis. Through the tricky turn three, we've seen a lot of passes down there, and then up to what some of the drivers say is one of the hardest sections of any of the tracks of the year. The long left-hander, and then a very long right onto the gravel, before it opens out to the left, and then a really big jump alongside another huge grandstand over the crest. As soon as the car lands, back on the brakes, get it in close to that barrier on the left-hand side. There is no runoff here anywhere. Back on the gas, and it's Joker decision time. Left if you want to take the Joker, right if you're on the standard lap. Both have a tight right-hander, both have a jump, and then it's a right and a left, and the merge is absolutely at the last corner. We can expect to see some fantastically close finishes here in Riga. Over the line and on for another one. Coming up, we've got highlights of the action from qualifying 1 and 2, the best of the action from qualifying 3. It's crunch time in Q4, only the top 12 qualify. Top 3 go through from each of the World RX semi-finals. Then it's the last European Supercar final of the year, and the biggest race of the weekend, the World RX final, live. Q1 started under clear skies and bright sunshine, and that wasn't the only thing for the Latvian crowd to cheer about, with Reinis Nitish lining up in the first race. Off the start, the EKS trio got away well, with only Kevin Eriksson trying to spoil the party. He was squeezed out in the first corner, and from then on the Audis ran in a train, the crowd going mad every time Nitish passed them. With no one to challenge them, all three took the Joker together, allowing Heikkinen to take the flag. The Audi party continued in the next race, with Matthias Ekström getting the whole shot over fellow DTM legend Timo Scheider. While Ekström gapped the field, things were looking a lot worse for Timo. A small fire under the car very quickly turning into a big one. Ekström took the win, but all eyes were on Scheider. He launched the car over the line and then had to exit via the wrong door. A very scary moment indeed.
My spotter told me, hey, you're on fire, and I didn't felt it before. So I thought just finish the run as good as possible. So I felt a bit power drop, but I somehow tried to finish it. And then last lap I lost my handbrake as well, and the smoke was getting more and more. So I decided somehow to roll over the line just to get the result somehow. Try to open the driver's side, and it wasn't working. So I tried to not spend too much time on that side, so I decided straight away to move out on the other side. That worked, luckily, quite good. To experience that, for sure, is not nice.
Johan Kristoffersson got a start worthy of a World Championship leader, and then set about the job of destroying the timesheets as usual. Behind him, Baumanis and Block had a scrap which gave the local crowd something to focus on, with Block jokering to find some space and then putting a pass on Nafik as he rejoined. Kristoffersson, meanwhile, had set the fastest lap of the day and went on to take his customary P1 position with one race to go. Solberg was in that final encounter and got the perfect start to challenge his teammates' benchmark. Behind him, it was contact aplenty as the others jostled for position. Timmy Hansen holding on from Loeb, who also lost out to Timers Yarnov. Solberg pushed hard and set rapid lap times with incredible consistency, but it wasn't quite enough to match the seemingly unstoppable Johan Kristoffersson. He takes Q1. The race against time continues for MJP Racing Team Austria and a very sorry-looking car. On to Q2 in torrential rain, and the Scheider question was immediately answered when the first grid was formed without him. Francois Duval used his many years of WRC experience to save a couple of big moments and take the race win. Race 2 and Kevin Eriksson had a problem retiring at the start. Ken Block got away well and was unlucky to be collected by Baumanis on the brakes at turn 1. No one really to blame in the tricky conditions. Gronholm ran Baumanis close at the end of the race, but it was a popular home win for the Latvian. Sebastian Loeb got an absolutely perfect start in his race, moving across from the outside of the grid to hit the front immediately. Andreas Backerud was last as they exited the first corner and set about chasing the pack down. He got Muller on lap 1 and made a fantastic move on Reinis Nitish on lap 2. On different Joker strategies, the result would come down to the merge. It looked like Loeb had got it until Backerud found something extra in the very last corner and took the flag by the tiniest of margins. The last race of Q2 was a story of VW versus Audi. Topi Heikkinen was into the first corner first, but Kristoffersson was pushing incredibly hard, desperate to find a way past. Following confusion as to what lap he was on, Kristoffersson followed Topi into the Joker and then lifted at what he thought was the finish, allowing Ekström to claim second. It was far worse for his teammate Solberg, though, the double World Rallycross champion having an altercation with the barriers, which would see him drag the wounded car home for last in Q2. At the other end of the table, it was Topi Heikkinen who set the fastest time of the session and claimed the overnight top qualifier spot.
Only one line what you can use, and I saw him on the mirror, but I knew that he cannot pass me if I'm driving like this, and I really knew that on the track already that I have a really good car and I can win this heat. So I was giving everything out, and I crossed the finish line and I was P1, so it was really good feeling.
Great result for Heikkinen, winning Q2. That sees him at the top of the standings overnight from Kristoffersson, of course, the Q1 winner in the dry. Backerud, Ekström, Hansen, Loeb, Nitish, the Latvian in 7th place. Great result. Solberg only dropping to 8th after a brilliant result, of course, in Q1, and that disaster in Q2. Not looking too bad for the ex-world champion. Kevin Hansen, Janis Baumanis, Nico Muller and Timers Yarnov. Great to see both the Latvians in the top 12. Plenty looking to fight their way in tomorrow. For two of our permanent World Rallycross drivers, this event is extra special. Janis Baumanis and Reinis Nitish will, of course, be competing at home in Latvia. It was voted Event of the Year last season, and the two will be looking to perform well in front of an adoring crowd.
I would say that it's one of the most interesting races during the season, because there's coming like 30,000 people in 2 days. It's quite a big pressure, I think, for me and also for Reinis and each Latvian driver, because the Latvian people are, I would say, if they want autograph, they will come and wait for you. So yes, last year it was very busy for me, and but definitely it's great fun that people are coming and they are really respond that and give to them and talk to them, and they are really happy about it.
You know, we are here, we are driving, we've been reaching everything ourselves, and I mean, all the attention what we get, it's super cool from the small country. We're only like 2 million people living here, and unbelievable. You know, we are everybody for everyone, and we are all together.
There's 2 million people and 30,000 come to visit us, and they're like cheering for me, for Reinis, and definitely when you will see this weekend how the crowd go nuts when even the cars are passing by me, Reinis, or doesn't matter, some Petter Solberg or stars from World Rix, they go nuts. Everybody's clapping their hands, screaming for me and Reinis, and it was, I saw some videos from the outside last year, and it was, I was take my head and it's like, what the hell is happening?
I would be really happy to see Janis next to me in the final, and if we could fight and do a great show for the spectators, because mainly they are here to watch us.
I would say it's quite big pressure when I'm driving against him, and I think he feels the same, but because always you want to be in the front, or Rainis want to be in front of me, because it's like small competition between us. It's not a secret. So
it's not a small one, it's a big one.
I think everybody knows and can feel, example, how can in Norway Bakkerud versus Solberg. So
we are not that bad yet.
Yeah, definitely. But it's good fun, definitely, and I think spectators also are waiting when we're going to be in the final. But you know, the competition is so high now, and there is 4 places into the final now, so it's
6.
Yeah. I think 2 is Volkswagen. It's already booked. So.
No, but still we need to fight, and we need to show them that we can drive fast as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think both me and Rainis have some extra more power from the spectators and all of the atmosphere, because this is our land, we are born in this land, and we get some, the roots is coming from here, so they will help us.
Hello, my name is Andrew Coley. Alongside me on commentary duty this weekend, the British Rallycross champion Dan Rook, who of course also takes part in RX2, and Neil Colt reporting from the paddock. Here are the standings after Q2, with Q3 coming up. Topi Heikkinen, top qualifier at the moment from Kristoffersen, Bakkerud, Ekström, Hansen, Loeb, Nitish, Solberg, Kevin Hansen, Janis Baumanis, Nico Müller and Timo Timosjanov. Both the Latvians currently inside the top 12. The early races of Q3, very tricky conditions, but good to see Solberg, Scheider and Eriksson back out, having had problems late yesterday in Q2. Solberg got the best of the starts and held that position to the flag. We ride on board here with Ken Block, and you can see just how hard it is to try and figure out what the traction is. On the left-hand side, Müller and Kevin Hansen doing the best job of that. They fought it out all the way through the race until the Joker lap strategies played out, and it was Kevin Hansen who crossed the line first. Race 3, Q3. And this has got the home hopes in it. Johan Kristoffersen on the inside, then Rainis Nitish and Janis Baumanis side by side, both inside the top 12 at the minute. Niklas Gronholm and Timo Timosjanov. Nitish, look, has gone with 2 new on the front, Baumanis with 1 new on the rear, and Johan Kristoffersen with 2 new on the left. What can the Latvians do here? And have a listen as they head around the circuit, if you can hear it over these wonderful supercars, for the noise of the Latvian fans. These guys really are superstars in this country. It's a very little country. I think 2 million people is the population. Nitish and Baumanis very, very proud to come from Latvia, and very proud to be racing at home in front of their home fans. Green light. Baumanis didn't get away very well there. Look, a slow reaction time. He goes backwards. Nitish, though, could possibly hold on to P2, but Timosjanov's going to try and come around the outside. He's got the inside line for turn 2. Nitish now needs to try and hold on. He gets a little nudge. Gronholm's alongside him. He uses the gravel trap, and Nitish holds on. Well, Gronholm has a little look up the inside. So Nitish is in P3. But of course, the man who's got away clean out front, again, Johan Kristoffersen.
Yeah, that was something to be expected of the Polo. You know, it's got such good traction off the line, and especially in these greasy conditions, I expect them to pull a bit of a gap now.
We're seeing how close they run towards the barriers here. You know, how hard is it to be this accurate when you know, oh, we see them run wide, Timosjanov runs wide, Nitish, listen to the crowd. Nitish goes up one spot and the crowd go absolutely mad. You've got to wait for it to come back past the start finish. But yeah, Dan, there's no run. Okay, this area's got run up, but a lot of this track, you're literally running to the millimetre alongside the barriers. That's not easy. Yeah, no, it's very, very difficult. It's you've got to be so precise with the car and have so much confidence when you go into that corner that you aren't going to hit that wall on the other side. And Timosjanov in the background, he's trying really hard. We've seen 2 different driving styles. We've watched Nitish here, certainly so far. Nitish, look, he's being very, very tidy. Timmy, you can see with more rotation angle on car, and Baumanis behind him as well. There's a little bit of that in the settings, but also in the driving style. And for me, the tidiest style should be faster, but Timmy is right with him. Yeah, and obviously Timosjanov's got a lot of supercar experience, and Rainis has come from the Super 600 background, which again, you've got to be very nice and tidy with. Timo, you know, he likes to, I think he likes to push really hard. We see him on the back now, he seems to be closing the gap again. How's he Jokers? into the Joker for Timosyanov. That means Balmanis is up a slot. The crowd like that as well, although of course that's going to come down to Joker laps because neither of the Latvians has taken their one compulsory alternative lap. Nitish through the left. They cheer even if he's not overtaking people. It's great. All the Latvian flags get waved in the grandstand every time he comes past. It's a brilliant atmosphere. This venue really is absolutely stunning. They work so hard. There's Balmanis. Kristoffersson out front is doing 52s. He's done a 52.7 and he's done a 52.3. So Kristoffersson is hammering the timesheets again. But of course there is a race still to come, and Kristoffersson, there we are, fastest lap of the day as I say that. He's in this one because he didn't have the best runs yesterday when it rained.
No, he had a bit of contact here and there, and it knocked him back the order, and it was great to see the Audis really mixing it with Johan yesterday. Let's see if Ekstrom's able to do it in the next race as well.
Dry conditions or drying conditions, are we seeing different lap times, or are we just seeing the master at work? Kristoffersson, the world champion-elect, he has a huge lead, and of course PSRX Volkswagen Sweden also have a massive lead in the manufacturer's title. They're extremely likely to tie that up this weekend, but Peugeot Hansen will be trying hard to beat them over Solberg's problem yesterday. It could go to the next round, but Kristoffersson here, he's so calm down.
Yeah, he's in a very, very comfortable position here, and he knows he's just got to keep his head down, keep gathering the points, not make any mistakes, and just see it out to the end of the championship. He's got such a lead now, and he's just got to be very calm with everything.
There's Tommy Kristoffersson up in the Teng Tall Spotters truck. Into the right-hander goes Kristoffersson, keeps it tidy. Similar line to Muller in the previous race. Rotation mid-corner on the brakes. Gets the nose in tight on the right. He'll be tight in on the left. There is your target time, bottom right, 3:42.166. It's his teammate Solberg who holds it. Not anymore. 3:39.3, 2.8 seconds faster from Johan Kristoffersson. World Championship leader showing his class in the background. That was so close between them, and Balmanis got Gronholm by 500ths. Super close between them. Super close, and that's what can happen at this final corner here if you get a different line coming off a different lap. Saw it yesterday. Johan Kristoffersson takes it, and with it, he takes the lead in Q3. Reinis Nitish, Timosyanov, Yanis Balmanis, and Niklas Gronholm. Where are the Latvians going to drop in? So Reinis makes it into the top 6, but Johan, look, at the top of the table with a huge margin. Is it the track, or is it just down to Johan? Here's the start. So still very wet on the start line, but you know, Johan, look, on the inside, got away brilliantly, Dan.
Yeah, Johan just hooked it up, got the RPM correct, you know, maybe had some information from Solberg as well. And yeah, just drove away, nice clean race, no mistakes, and well, look at the margin, it speaks for itself.
This was Nitish off the start, got barged a little bit wide. Timosyanov then ran wide. I think, was it in the same, where did he run wide? Was it down at the far end on the gravel again? Or?
Yes, the gravel hairpin after the jump.
Okay, so same place that Ken Block ran wide in the previous one. So people still finding their way in terms of the grip levels. There's only 5 people who are left to try and find their way. Can any of them beat Kristoffersson and get to the top of the table in Q3? Let's have a look at one of our head-to-heads. Sebastian Loeb, the 9-time World Rally Champion versus Matthias Ekstrom, the World Rallycross Champion. You can see not a great start for Sebastian Loeb back in Barcelona. Since then, things have gone better. He's been right up there at the last few events. 62% of the time, look, Loeb has won the head-to-heads. Ekstrom not doing quite so well this season as he did last. 17 qualifying race wins. 3 semi-final wins, though, for Matthias Ekstrom, and 3 final wins. So come the end of the race weekend, it's Ekstrom who's normally on top. Final race of Q3 on the line. All slightly offset on their grid slots, trying to find just that little bit more grip off the line. Sebastian Loeb, Timmy Hansen, the Peugeot teammates on their final prep, tightening belts, tightening helmets, firing himself up. Timmy's good to go. Topi Heikkinen, overnight top qualifier on the inside. Andreas Backerud, Sebastian Loeb, Matthias Ekstrom, and Timmy Hansen. Look at that. 4 out of these 5 are in the top 5. Sebastian down in 6th. Brand new tyres on the front for Topi and for Matthias. So a little bit of strategy going on there from the Audis. On board with the world champion, he carries the number 1 on his car. He knows he's going to have to give that up. He's focused on DTM this year. Ekstrom Marshall stands the jump start, centre back up for Timmy Hansen on the outside. This is the big one then. Can anyone beat Kristoffersen's time in Q3? And what's he going to do to the standings at the end of this one? Green light pretty early. Good start by Heikkinen. He's going to get down to turn 1 first. Fantastic stuff from him. Ekstrom's on the outside and Loeb decides to slot him back. Or runs deep on the brakes. That pushes Hansen out wide into P5. But Heikkinen hooked that right up.
Yeah, he must have found extra grip by going slightly offline. He got off of the rubber and off the slippery stuff, because when rubber's wet, it becomes like a film and you can't get any grip on it. But we see a little tug from Matthias there on handbrake.
Yeah, quite aggressive.
Yeah, just a sharp tug just to get the nose in, and it seemed to work out here.
Sebastian Loeb under pressure from Ekstrom, with backward in behind. These guys now, they can run in a trail. Oh, Heikkinen runs wide. Heikkinen's run wide. Loeb has to look up the inside, but Toppy holds on. Loeb decides to take that to go straight into the Joker, and Hansen has gone with him, so the Persians have decided to go to the Joker now. Did Loeb respond there to the moment from Ekstrom, thinking I can make some time here? Because he was a little, from Heikkinen, he was a little way further back from him.
Yeah, I mean, I think when he came out of the corner, he was a bit alongside him and knew he'd have to brake early if he wanted to go the standard lap. So just dived in the Joker, took the opportunity, and now he's trying to pull the gap back.
Good decision, and Loeb is almost on the back of these guys now. Backroom will be able to see the Peugeot in his mirror as you were riding on board in the Focus RS RX. World champion Ekstrom follows his teammate Heikkinen down towards the hairpin now. So will Ekstrom dive out? Look at the gaps. To me, the Peugeots are almost on the back of these guys already. The Joker was about 3.2, but Dan, this track is changing by the lap.
Yeah, constantly changing, and it's a bit tricky now with the Joker lap. Obviously, they got the gravel braking point, which makes it that little bit slippier. But as we see in this section here, they all seem to be running a little bit wide, so it might be a bit tricky there compared to what they were thinking.
Ekstrom's gone into the Joker lap, and now Loeb is already up onto the back of the two who were in front of him, so backward and Heikkinen and Loeb as Joker. Remember, Ekstrom's in there now, so this is about Ekstrom versus Loeb at the merge. Where's Ekstrom? I think Loeb's got him. He has. So Sebastian Loeb has got Ekstrom. Loeb is hunting down the two in front of him. This could be great tactics from the 9-time World Rally Champion and the winner here last year at Latvia. What are the lap times like?
So we've got Heikkinen doing 53.9. Sebastian Loeb's on a 53.0. So really pulling in the gap.
He is, but it's not going to be enough to match Kristoffersen unless he can find something else on these last couple of laps. But we want to be at the head of these guys anyway. There's Alexei on the right, Toppy spotter. As I look down at the stopwatch, these guys are working very hard indeed to figure out what the gaps are, but he will know now the game is up, won't he? Backwards in the back of Heikkinen. Backwards surely going to joke now. Heikkinen takes a standard lap, and he does, so backward releases himself, but Loeb's got him already, even at the entry, and I think Ekstrom's going to too, so Ekstrom didn't get good traction out the right-hander there. No, merge time, go on.
He struggled a bit there, trying to get the traction down to try and get the jump on backward, as we're going to see a close merge here, I think.
Very close indeed. They'll be side by side as they come through. They are, as they come up towards turn 1, so backward just got out in front of Ekstrom, unseen by us. They're tight in behind, so Ekstrom now is behind backward. Hansen further back. Heikkinen under pressure from Loeb, and we know that when Heikkinen jokers, he's going to come out among these guys. So he was just in front of Ekstrom. Heikkinen surely is going to have to merge around these guys. It's going to be very, very close for them.
Yeah, it's going to be super close at this merge, and these guys are going to have to decide whether they want to brake early or brake late and try and get around the outside or on the inside.
They're going really sideways through the left-hander before the jump, and it was a brilliant decision by Loeb. He saw Heikkinen run wide on the brakes in the hairpin. Loeb up the inside. He's surely going to take this one, the final race of Q3. Heikkinen lights the throttle up over the jump into the right-hander. Where's he going to merge? Backward seems to have gapped Ekstrom a little bit in the background. Watching for the finish line. This could be super tight. Backward's going to try and do what he did yesterday, I think, when he got past Loeb, but Heikkinen knows it. Heikkinen shuts the door. So backward yesterday slotted up the inside. Loeb got the grip. Loeb's time look isn't quick enough to beat Kristoffersen. Brilliant tactics from him to take that Joker when he saw Heikkinen have a mistake, but Heikkinen was on it there, wasn't he, at the finish? He knew that Backward was going to try and undercut him.
Yeah, he realised that Backward did that move yesterday and it pays off, so he kept it nice and tight, and Backward had nowhere to go.
Loeb takes him with a 3:42.6 from Heikkinen, Backward, Ekstrom and Timmy Hansen. But look at that, the two VWs are at the top of the timesheet again. Kristoffersen, though, by a mighty margin. This man, well, he's got the number 1 next to his name at Q3, and it's not going to be long before he's running the number 1 on the car. I'm almost certain of that. Heikkinen Backward slotting in P7 and P8, Loeb in P3. We can have a look back and see how Sebastian managed to pull that off. At the start, Oh, you can hear the wheel spin there, can't you, away from the line. Haikkonen's on the inside, so are we on board with Loeb, I think, down into turn 2? We are, so in P2, but we're hoping we'll see the mistake, Dan, because Loeb really there.
Yeah, so Haikkonen missed his braking point off the jump, and there we see Loeb has to go to the joker there.
So you think that's a response from him probably as much as from the spotters?
Yeah, so he wouldn't have been able to get in because he was already part alongside, so he'd have lost time by having to back out the throttle.
So here's backward look with, is that Ekstrom alongside him? I think it was. And then have a look for the merge here. So watch Haikkonen, what Haikkonen does here, and watch Baccarat too. Baccarat will try to go tight on the exit at the last corner. Second car on the left-hand side of your screen. He tries to go tight. Look, here we go, but Haikkonen's like, no chance, sunshine. Keeps it in tight. No way to pass. Johan Kristoffersson takes Q3 and moves back to the top of the qualifying standings. Toppy Haikkonen with that win in Q2 is still in P2. That's very impressive by him. Sebastian Loeb P3, Andreas Baccarat in P4. Solberg has moved up, having had that problem yesterday. You can see the low point score in Q2. He's back up into P5, but he'll want to try and get up onto one of the front rows in the semis. Ekstrom, Timmy Hansen, Kevin Hansen with a great performance there in Q3. Reinis Nitish, Latvian inside the top 12. Nico Muller, Timur Timosyanov and Baumanis. Latvian is right on the cusp of going out. Ken Block, who's been in every single semi-final this year at the minute, hasn't made it. They are going to be pushing really hard either to stay in or to get in. Well, as always, from our World RX events, we send our cameramen out to get you some fantastic slow-motion footage for a look at. And here we can see the transition from tarmac to gravel. Dan Rook, this circuit has quite specific characteristics in terms of the surface.
Yeah, the gravel section is very smooth. There's lots of grip on there. You know, you can see from the way the tyres are working, there's not lots of gravel being kicked up. The tyres are starting to roll on the rim. They're really gripping up on this smooth surface.
Got to get in super tight on the barrier. This shot, I think we'll see backward all the way through this very, very long right-hander that puts a huge amount of load on the whole car.
Yeah, both tyres are getting loaded up. You can see it's almost pulling the tyre off the rim. You can see there's a lip there that's it's getting close, and you know he's over the white line. He's trying to hug that barrier all the way around to get maximum grip.
And the best lap time possible too. Haikkonen here. These pictures from warm-up on Saturday. Haikkonen not quite so close to the barrier, but then maybe we'll get a better exit in terms of trying to get into an apex later. It is a long corner though.
Yeah, it is a very long corner. He might be trying to make 2 apexes out of the corner.
Sebastian Loeb over the jump in the 208. This is what I would call a pointy jump, Dan. You can actually see it in the shape of the Armco in the background. It's not like a round hump, it's a real launch.
Yeah, you've got no landing zone, so you can see in the background there's big gouges out of the gravel where they're landing hard.
So not necessarily one which you want to fly a great distance on. Here comes Timo Scheider. Let's take a look at this. Huge travel on the suspension.
Yeah, you need a lot of travel on the suspension. I mean, you just look at the tracks we've been going to. All of them seem to have a jump of some description or a big curb or something like that you need all of the suspension to soak it up with.
Scheider with a very, very hard landing on his way down into the hairpin. Nico Muller is on his second outing in the World Rallycross Championship here. I imagine, Dan, that of the two surfaces, clearly from a DTM background, he's going to be more comfortable on the tar. He spent a lot of time in these cars, though.
Yeah, a lot of time getting used to being sideways. Obviously, in a DTM car, you've got to be so precise and smooth. And I think it's quite fortunate for him that his 2 events are so far Latvia and France, where the loose surface isn't too loose. So there is a bit of grip there. So it gives him a better transition onto not having so much grip under the car.
And Yanis Baumanis racing at home here in Latvia. I suspect as the weekend goes on, again, morning warm-up, we can see him having to use the handbrake to turn it in, that this gravel's going to sweep.
Yeah, he's having to pull the handbrake to get the nose of the car in, or else he's going to be understeering. So he needs to get that nose in, try and ride the curb, get a good line through the corner, a nice exit, and away he goes again.
Let's take a look at the standings ahead of Q4. Kristoffersson at the top of the table from Toppy Haikkonen and Sebastian Loeb. Andreas Baccarat, Petter Solberg, Matthias Ekstrom, Timmy Hansen and Kevin Hansen are the top 8. P9, we've got Reinis Nitish is currently in, and so's Janis Baumanis looking P12, Timosyanov and Muller. But Gronholm, Ken Block, all looking for ways in. First race in Q4 and the track was drying. It was Ken Block who got the whole shot. Ryala there and Duval together in turn 2. And Block really needing to push to try and drag himself up into the semi-finals. Choo Choo had pushed a little bit too hard, hit the wall and broke the suspension. Block took it, but would he be fast enough? Race 2, Q4 on the line. Let's see the lineup. Timmy Hansen, Kevin Eriksson, Timosyanov, home hope Janis Baumanis right on the cusp of the semi-finals in, and Niklas Gronholm right on the cusp of the semi-finals but out. New tyres there for a few people. Kevin Eriksson, 18th, has decided that's unnecessary. Unfortunately, this will be his last outing of the day. He's just not going to be able to make that up. Crowd will go nuts here for Baumanis. We heard them cheering just a few moments ago when we were in the commentary box and the Super 1600 qualifiers were finishing. Artist Baumanis, his brother, was out in that. They went absolutely mad when we made a pass. It is fantastic to hear such passionate support for the home drivers. Fairly long hole, couple of people on the limiter there away from the line. Baumanis looks like he's lost out. Timosyanov moves across. It's Hansen though who gets down into the first corner first. Oh, Baumanis is caught up on the inside contact between him and with Gronholm. Gronholm comes out into P2. Eriksson looks up the inside of Gronholm, went to commit to it but too far back down.
Yeah, I mean, 3 abreast into this first corner. Just unlucky for Baumanis there, getting squeezed and trying not to hit the tyres. So a little bit of work for him to do here.
Yeah, and he needs it too. I mean, you know, he's in at the minute, he's in P12, but, you know, with Gronholm just in front of him, he could do without that because Gronholm's the danger man. He's the guy who's in P13, so he's surely going to have him in his sights. Would you know? Would you look up the qualifying, think who are the danger people?
Yeah, he's definitely been studying the times to see what he's got to do to get to that semi-final, and he's now going to try and get his head down and make up them positions and close the gap. He's now behind him because we've had Eriksson going to the Joker lap, so he is now the target. He is aiming for Gronholm now.
Right in front of him. Can he close the gap down to him? Gronholm is sideways through turn 2. Janis Baumanis is trying to hunt him down. So Janis Baumanis on the brakes up into turn 3. His teammate Timosyanov is right with him. They tail it out over. You see the front left wheel arch of Baumanis' car hanging on from that contact. We're going to keep a close eye on the timing screens to see whether or not he can make any inroads into Gronholm. What will they do about the Joker lap? So Baumanis and Gronholm, P12 and P13. Who's going to make it through to the semis? Timmy into the right-hander on the standard lap. Baumanis Jokers now, and that's freed up Timosyanov behind it. So Timosyanov was actually looking pretty quick here. He's not going to know or possibly care whether or not, you know, his teammate makes it through. These guys aren't in a fight for the team's title, really. So Baumanis is going to come out behind Kevin Eriksson. Oh, side by side, Baumanis is alongside him up towards turn 1. His nose isn't quite far enough through, though, and Kevin gets the play. Kevin's quick, so shouldn't hold him up.
Hopefully not, no. And I mean, Kevin's got nothing to lose now at this event, so he's going to be wanting to go out there and make a point and see how fast he can do this qualifying session. So I think Janis just needs to try and... He's challenging him now. He looks faster, yeah. So he's really going to be pushing to try and get past him now. The Jokers have both played out, so he's not got that in the bag. So he needs to make the pass on track.
He's got to hope, hasn't he, that Eriksson is quicker than Gronholm, basically, because, you know, Eriksson is going to be in front of him unless he finds some way to it. I have to say that Gronholm, to me, looks like he's going well. Gronholm's on a 51-0. We can't tell because Baumanis has been in the Joker, so... Okay, into the Joker lap this time, Timosyanov. Where will he come out? He was looking dangerous against Baumanis. Baumanis is right up behind Kevin here. They're going to get past Timmer. Timmer slots back in at the back of the pack, but for me, Baumanis has just got a tiny little bit of extra pace over Kevin.
Yeah, he, like you say, I think Kevin could be holding him up here, which could hamper his chances in the to get into the semis. We've got Gronholm setting slightly faster pace than him here, so he needs to get past.
At the minute, Baumanis is on 97 qualifying points. It's a complicated system. Gronholm's on 94, so it could also come down to who goes between them in terms of the times in the following races. Timmy Hansen into the Joker lap. Fastest lap of the day, 50.4. Ken Block, what did he do? He did a 51.6, so this track is either getting quicker or Timmy is, but Timmy there has run himself wide on his attempt at the Joker lap through the left-hander to take the line. Here is Eriksson unable to catch up with Gronholm. 3:31.6, my goodness me, that's 5 seconds faster than Ken Block. So who else has gone quicker than Ken in that one? To be fair, okay, only Gronholm. So Gronholm's done well there. He's beaten Eriksson, Baumanis and Timosjanov, so it's not over for Block yet. And of course, he is another man who could push Baumanis out of the semi-finals. So there's a lot to play for, especially for the home fans. Timmy Hansen, Niklas Gronholm, Kevin Eriksson, Yannis Baumanis, Timosjanov, 3:31.6 for Hansen, 3:34.2 for Gronholm, 6 them up above Ken Block. Remember, Block, Gronholm and Baumanis after that final spot in the semi-finals. Off the line, still looks a bit damp and greasy down there. Is this on the run down to turn 1? So this was Baumanis. Yeah, I mean, he almost ends up on the wall on the inside here, doesn't he?
Yeah, it was a very tight squeeze, trying to fit 3 people through a tight chicane. Yeah, something's got to give, and that was where Baumanis lost out.
I'm a big fan of a left or a right, or at least 2 corners, basically, you know, at the end of a lap, because I think, sorry, the start of a lap, I think it makes it exciting off the start. How do you find it as a driver? Stressful, I guess?
Stressful, yeah, because you don't know who's going to be the person who's on your inside, pushing you out towards those tyres, and those tyres are the danger zone.
Look at Timmy, absolutely fully fired up, mouth open, really, really focused. He's got in the time he needed. I think he could have gone quicker because he made that mistake, of course, we saw. And it's obviously not up to full dry pace yet. There was that. I suppose it wasn't too bad, maybe a little bit deep, possibly not as tidy as Timmy would have liked it. And the times are not as quick as we were seeing in full dry Q1. So the track's still developing. Timmy is top at the moment. On then to race 3 of Q4. 10 cars to go at this point. Well, 5 cars in this race, as always in qualifying. 4 of them are Audis, and that is a record. These guys all being run by EKSRX. The man who's under pressure, Matthias Ekström, he really needs to be at the front of this lot, put himself up high in qualifying to stand any mathematical hope of keeping the very long shot at the championship title alive. We know Kristoffersen's out there, but none of these drivers will give up until that point. So Backerud, the only non-Audi in there. Ekström's teammates Nitish, Heikkinen and Muller lining up with him. So Ekström's on the outside. Team orders, not so much team orders maybe, but they'll certainly be careful around him. So it is a long shot. We'll have a chat about those odds during the race. Backerud looking to spoil the Audi party with the Ford Focus RS RX. 4 S1s to go up against. It's a big ask. Backward sideways like Ken Block was off the line, but it's very equal between the Audis, except for Ekström, who's got a brilliant start round the outside. Hot shot for Ekström, the 3 Audis are behind, but crucially, he's going to come under pressure from Backward, and that's the one person he didn't want behind him.
Yeah, Backward is going to be, like I said earlier, he's going to be using him as a target. He is going to be chasing down Ekström, braking that tiny bit later than him, back on the throttle that tiny bit earlier than him, trying to close down the gap.
Now, we all know this is a long shot down for Ekström to keep, you know, he's hoping basically that Kristoffersen's engine blows up 3 times in a row next 2 events when it hasn't happened all year. You know, Cyril Raymond's just won the RX2 title from you. You didn't give up, did you?
No, I was actually the first reserve for the final, and I was sat waiting at the grid, ready to go, just in case someone dropped out, because then I actually have a chance to try and take it to South Africa.
And that's what you guys do. So that's what Ekström is doing here. He's just trying desperately to make Kristoffersen wait one more event, and we think he might have to wait until Esther. It's going to depend on Ekström and Solberg's results here as to whether or not the championship goes to the next round. That is the Drivers' Championship. Of course, the Teams' Championship, we're pretty sure. But we settle in, but Ekström looks like he's nearly dropped it. My goodness me, backed into there.
Yeah, he had 2 wheels up on the curb on the outside, and it just sucked his back end out, and what a save, though. He pulled it together.
That was mega, wasn't it? Absolutely sideways by Ekström. Held on to it, though. Backer will have seen that in front. He'll know how hard Matthias is pushing. Wow. Okay, on the gravel section, so Backward is now just that little bit closer. Ekström inside will just be having a little sigh of relief there that he can stick it in the wall when we were saying he's trying to keep his championship hopes alive. Famous commentators curse up and over the curbs. Backward using a little bit more. Interesting, they use the full height of the curbs here again. Matthias aggressively on the handbrake.
Yeah, he just wants a short, sharp jab. You just need enough just to get the nose turned in, you know. Ekström's a very tidy driver. He doesn't want the sideways, but he just does it that bit just to get the movement of the car.
He's using it a lot, isn't he? Like, you know, just disengaging the rear a little bit on the way. Backward, though, with the fastest lap of the day, 50.3. And that's compared to Timmy Hansen's 50.49. 50.99. So Ekstrom's doing 50.3s as well. In fact, Ekstrom managed a 50.385 with that huge moment. On board with Backrud, you can see the gap looks bigger on board than it does on the TV, but he will know he's close. Lap 3 out of 4, is anybody going to joke it? Backrud goes. I always think that's sensible. You might as well joke on the other lap and let the other driver worry about where you are.
Yeah, you could get the undercut. Ekstrom could now make a mistake that meant the Backrud could close that gap, and there's always that chance. If you're behind that person, you might get pulled into their mistake. So get yourself some clear air, see what you can do.
Ekstrom past the commentary position. Backrud with Nitish right behind him. Latvian fans pleased to see him up there, and I'm pretty sure this is going to book his slot right through to the semi-finals, because Nitish is currently P9. Muller and Heikkinen, where are they? Heikkinen's P2 and Muller's P10, so we could see 4 Audis in the semi-finals. We're looking at a third of the people that qualified through being from the EKSRX team, so fantastic performance by them to run 4 cars at this level.
Yeah, fantastic performance, and to think that Ekstrom's looking to sell the cars, you know, yeah, it makes you question, is that the right choice? You know, they've come out now and he's proved that they're competitive.
He's going to keep his own one, he said, didn't he? The one that he won the World Championship in, the one that's got the #1 on the side of it. Hopefully EKS will build new cars for next year. We'll soon find out. Ekstrom through the left-hander. He's going to take the checker flag. What's the time going to be? 3:30.065. He goes around 1.5 seconds quicker than Hansen. Backrud's beaten Hansen too. Ekstrom wipes his eyes. That one big moment. Wow, what a save. 3:30.0 for Ekstrom, the new benchmark. We've got 5 cars still to come. The last race of Q4. Then it's Backrud, Nitish, Muller and Heikkinen. Backrud couldn't quite spoil the Audi party, but he is right up there. As his reign is Nitish, so impressive times. But then Topi Heikkinen down in P7. He was P2 after Q3, so he'll be hoping he can hold on to a front row spot in the semis. Of course, we'll bring you that semi-final lineup at the end of Q4. On board with Nitish at home here, off the line. Didn't get the best of starts. He'd have seen Backrud inside him at this point. Had you brave it out, Dan? I mean, what'd you do?
Yeah, obviously, if you didn't have that big tyre wall that's sticking out right in front of you, you might want to try and brave it, but you've got to be a bit careful. You can't squeeze in too tight on the person on the inside in case you touch wheels and that sends you off. Here's Ekstrom's moment here. 2 wheels on the curb, and it just backed him into the corner, but he handled it super quickly.
Yes, Matthias, send it. Hashtag said go hard or go home. He nearly went home, but that was absolutely mega. That's got to be save of the year, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he looks so calm as well. He didn't phase
love it. Just a little bit of extra lock, more than I'd normally like to use. I just like the throttle up. You know, the wall's only just there. Brilliant piece of car control by the world champion. Well done, Matthias. Backrud tried really hard here, but, you know, Ekstrom was your man. Into the right-hander on the Joker. Tidy, tidy, tidy. Perfect run, and Ekstrom at the minute is at the top of Q4 with 1 race still to go.
Matthias, as a team boss, it must be lovely to have all 4 Audis in the same race, but for you, that was a quite exciting win.
Yeah, it was always difficult when you have 4 guys in the same meet. I mean, I'm really happy that they all performed that well, but once I had a good start, came away, then I did one big mistake, got a huge oversteer, so pushing a bit too much, and now we just need to nail the setup for the semi-final and finals, hopefully.
Just a quick word though, the conditions look dry, but I guess it's still quite complicated.
It's still a bit greasy, so the car doesn't give the same feeling as in dry in the second sector, but the first sector, the car is normally dry, so that's quite entertaining.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Time for the last race of the qualifying portion of World RX in Latvia. Q4 race 4 sees Johan Kristoffersson on the inside, his teammate Petter Solberg next to him. Sebastian Loeb, Kevin Hansen with a brilliant performance in Q3, P4 there in last year's car, and Timo Scheider, we know he's not going to make the semi-finals, but a measure of his pace and a measure of the hard work put in by the team after that massive fire yesterday. He's in the last race of Q4. Good job. Matthias Ekstrom is the target that the 2 VWs are looking for. Ekstrom overnight was in P6, Solberg P3, Kristoffersson P1, so will it be enough to see Ekstrom on the front row in one of the semi-finals? He'd like that. Sebastian Loeb is currently P4, so still a lot to play for. Ready to race light goes out. Oh, Loeb sideways on the line this time, and he's got a fantastic start. He shuts the door on both Solberg and Kristoffersson. Kevin Hansen trying to go around the outside, but sends
VW. I mean, we weren't expecting that. They are so quick off the line usually, and to have the Peugeots and Scheider come from the outside to take the positions away from them, that's just... Now we got a race on.
We have got a race on. Loeb, when he went so sideways off the line, I thought surely he's lost traction there. You saw the rear of the car move. Bang, just straight to the front.
Yeah, he just must have got sideways, got grip and just launched. But it was interesting to see they're still slightly offline on the boxes, the start boxes. There must be a bit of water still there, a bit of greasy stuff. So everyone's trying to find that extra grip.
Maybe some variation in the grid slots. Perhaps Loeb had the better one, or Scheider. Unfortunately, he's made a mistake there. He's made a mistake, and that's allowed the VWs to close right up behind him. Loeb leads this one. Kevin Hansen, the only person to joker on the first lap. Solberg and Kristoffersson running line astern. Solberg now is right with Scheider, so this is the corner, of course, that he had his issues in last year. I'm sure he won't do anything naughty there. Oh, and maybe he has to check it up mid-corner, so Solberg's right in the back of Scheider.
Yeah, he got it in a little bit too tight there, and he just had to steer away before hitting the wall, and, you know, he doesn't want to be doing that.
Vanilla, Solberg, Petter's wife there, Tommy Kristoffersson as well, Johan's dad, so family members spotting for these guys. Solberg decides he doesn't want to be in behind Scheider. He's gone out as Kevin got near enough in that lap as Scheider held Solberg up enough for Kevin Hansen to get out in front of Solberg. I don't think he has. Loeb's flying. Go on, Sebastian. Wants to take the win again here. Solberg's got Kevin Hansen from the commentary position. I can see that he's come out in front of him on the joke lap merge. Fastest lap of the day. Sebastian Loeb, 49.7. The track continues to develop.
Yeah, Petter's going to be hoping now that clear air in front of him. He can pull that gap down to Loeb, try and reclaim the fastest lap of the day, and to just get his head down, catch Johan, and see how the joker tactics play out.
Loeb and Solberg P3 and P4 after Q3. Again, all about these grid positions. Scheider's bonnet is up on the left-hand side, and that, of course, is the side on which he's sitting. He had to climb out the car on the other side yesterday after that big fight. Kristoffersson slots off to the left into the joker. It's him and his teammate racing for this position now. This will be really tight on the merge. Into the right, Kristoffersson is sideways like Timmy Hansen was. That's going to cost him a bit of time. Petter's got him. So Solberg remains in front of Kristoffersson after the jokers play out. Doesn't really matter. Kristoffersson, as I say, is after Q3. TQ by a long way as well. So Kristoffersson, I'm pretty sure, will take TQ. And Solberg, if he doesn't have any problems on these last couple of laps, making it through to the semi-finals is going to mean that the Drivers' Championship is going to go probably all the way to Estering next time out, which of course is where the title settled in favour of Ekstrom last year. Look how close Solberg is on the barriers.
Yeah, you've got to be super precise and make the most of the track. Solberg with fastest time of the day, so using that clear air to his advantage, trying to close the gap to Loeb, but I don't think he's got it here.
Loeb is in the joke lap. Dan Rook doesn't think he's got it. I have to say, I don't think he has either. Solberg has not done enough. Sebastian Loeb has done a fantastic job here. The target time's 3:30. Thank you very much. I'll knock a couple of seconds off that. 3:28.7, so it's 1.3. In fact, Loeb goes faster. Solberg with a 3:30.5. It's not enough to beat Ekstrom, so Ekstrom gets P2 in this one. Ekstrom, Loeb and Solberg, P3, P4, P6 they were. Ekstrom was down in P6 prior to this session, so lots of exciting racing. And most importantly, those timesheets are going to affect where everybody slots in at the end of the qualifying stages. So Loeb takes it with Q4. Petter Solberg, despite pushing hard, couldn't match the pace. Maybe we could see one of the Peugeots take the win here above the VW. It's going to depend what happens to the track conditions here as we head over the lunch break in Latvia and into the afternoon. Timo Scheider, P4, Kevin Hansen, P5. Where do they go? Loeb to the top, Solberg to 3, Kristoffersson to 5, Scheider to 7. But it's really what's more important for us is to see who makes it through to the semi-finals. We'll be able to tell you that in just a moment. So off the line, look at Loeb. See that sideways moment? I was sure he was going to go backwards, Dan.
Yeah, it looked like he had a lot of wheel spin and wasn't going to get the traction to go, but the car just hooked up and you see he just took off, just pulled in front of VWs and away he's gone.
Great move by Scheider too. Aggressive, admittedly, he's round the outside here. Mirror off Kevin. You see the mirror fly up in the air we did from the other shot. And you can see there Solberg had to get out the back of those two. But Scheider in aggressive racing. I'm a bit gutted he had the fire because it could have been a good result for him here.
Yeah, he's showing good pace this weekend. If it wasn't for that fire, we could have seen him a lot higher up. But
nice to see him pay the team back as well, isn't it? You know, having had them work so hard to get the car back together, Scheider managing to get out today and put in a couple of decent performances. Loeb takes Q4. Where does that leave everyone ahead of the semi-finals?
Sebastian, very, very impressive. You won here last year and that was a winning performance, fastest in Q4. How did you do it?
Yeah, it has been really good. I found a really good setup. The feeling with the car was really good now on the dry condition. So I could just push hard all the way. I don't know, I think they fight it a bit behind. So I had a free ray and it was really nice run. No mistake, pushing hard, no problem.
Well done, good luck.
Thank you.
Sebastian Loeb is all smiles, and rightly so. Great performance. Could we see the VW dominance ended this afternoon? Well, Kristoffersson takes another top qualifier spot with those 2 Q wins, Q1 and Q3, but Sebastian Loeb moves up to P2, so he gets ahead of Solberg and Heikkinen. So Ekstrom is into P3, he's moved up from P6. Great job by him. Solberg, though, in P4 will be on the front row with Sebastian Loeb in semi-final 2. Bakkerud, Heikkinen dropping down from P2 to P6 in Q4. Then Timmy Hansen and Kevin Hansen. Great job by both of them. All the Peugeots making it through. Reinis Nirtish and Janis Baumanis down in P12 spotted the 2 Latvian flags. Great to see both the Latvians have made it through. Niklas Gronholm has gone up from P13 as well. So fantastic to see Gronholm in. Timur Zyanov is the man who loses out. He drops down to P13, and Ken Block, for the first time this year, doesn't make it through. Nico Müller as well, making it through to his first semi-final in World RX, and that means that all 4 of the Audis have gone through here in Latvia.
Well, there is the mathematical proof. Even though we're only just after Q4, he is untouchable. Anton Markland is officially the European Rallycross champion for 2017. And here he is. Congratulations, Anton. How does it feel now that you are confirmed as champion?
Yeah, I have to say it feels pretty good. I had the feeling when we came here that it will be possible to close it down already before the semi-finals, and I've been just going all in just to make it happen and to qualify top 4, and it seems like we did it quite good. I think we had 3 fastest time in Q1 to Q3, and then Q4 we were P2, but it was surely enough to secure the title already before the semi. So it's just an amazing feeling that we now can relax and go out and have fun in the semis and finals.
Yeah, no pressure is off for the semis and the final. Obviously you haven't done it alone. Your driving has been incredibly dominant and impressive this year, but introduce us to some of the key players in the team, please.
Yeah, I would say that I haven't been able to do it without anybody in the team, but for sure this is the guy who is speaking to me on the radio and trying to keep me a bit calm when I try to push a bit too hard sometimes. And of course we have Adam and Laurent, which is my chassis engineer, and who have made this car absolutely flying this year. So without them it would have for sure not been possible to be the European champion already by the semi-final or before the semi-finals.
So now that you've done it, give us an idea of what he's like to spot for in the spotters tower. Is it easy? Is it difficult? Does he listen to you?
Yeah, he listened very much to me as well. We always agree on how we're gonna do all the races. And
always?
Always. Hopefully, if the situation plays our way, he do what I tell him.
Congratulations. And as far as the chassis is concerned, that seems to have worked very well as well.
Yes, we pushed very hard since the beginning of the year. We have done nearly 20 updates, so it's a brand new Marklund 2017 car. So we're really pushing hard. It's nice to see in France, especially to see this car on the front of the Works Volkswagen from the lap time, so we were really happy. But I have to say, Anton pushed like hell all the way along, and yeah, it's a hard work, but it's really a big pleasure to do it.
Fantastic, and of course, you guys will surely celebrate tonight here in Latvia, but there is still racing.
So now we'll go home and just relax, prepare for next year, no partying now.
You've still got at least one race to do, and hopefully the final. I'm sure you'll have some fun. Very briefly, what would you like to achieve here in Latvia now that you've done the big title?
Yeah, I think that we started the year with 30 points, and then to score 30 points here as end to the season would be amazing.
Cars are lined up in the pre-grid for the semi-finals here in Latvia. The pressure is building. Could Kristoffersson possibly take the World Championship here? It's a long shot. We might be on for it. Hello from the fantastic Bikanjaki circuit in Riga in Latvia. This place is wonderful. The action has been incredible all weekend. We haven't had a single session that has had the same conditions as a previous one. We really don't know the relative pace of these guys. VW have had an advantage in some conditions. Sebastian Loeb handed it to them, though, in the final qualifier. All to play for this afternoon. Will the dominance of VWs be broken or not? We're going to find out in just a short while. My name's Andrew Coley. Alongside me commentating this weekend is the British Rallycross champion Dan Rook. Neil Cole is reporting from the paddock as always. Dan, brilliant weekend so far. Looking forward to this?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. We've had mixed weather, mixed results. VW haven't been dominant like they have been in previous events, so really looking forward to seeing what happens now.
Well, there he is, Kristoffersson, the World Championship leader, and we're going to show you how qualifying played out as well, because he's had a pretty decent weekend. When we say not dominant, you know, still right up there as top qualifier. Amazing performance, 16 championship points. We think that gives him a lead of 49. He needs to leave here with a lead of 60 to be the World Drivers' Champion with 2 rounds to go. Second place, Sebastian Loeb, won here last year. Matthias Ekström, the outgoing world champion. Petter Solberg, the double world rallycross champion. Andreas Backrud, Topi Heikkinen, Timmy Hansen, Kevin Hansen, Reini Snittisch, Nico Muller, Nicholas Gronholm, and Janis Baumanis. So both the Latvians are in. All 4 of the Audis are in. All 3 of the Peugeots are in. Unfortunately, one of the Fords is not. Really unlucky for Ken Block. Got collected by Baumanis in the terribly wet conditions yesterday, and that's the first time Ken Block hasn't made the semi-finals. He's been brilliant this year, and it's a shame not to see him here. This is how the semis line up. Odd numbers go to semi-final number 1. Kristoffersson on pole with Ekström next to him. Evens to semi-final 2. Loeb on pole, Solberg next to him. Cannot wait for both these races. Remember, the top 3 from each of those go through to the final. Well, Neil Cole was down on the pre-grid earlier on, and he caught up with a very, very important person. The president of the FIA, Jean Todt, is here in Latvia.
Well, that's nice to see, Mr. President, you shaking hands with the current champion in World Rallycross, but we may be about to see a new champion. Tell us how this sport has developed since the last time you visited a World Rallycross event.
I must say it's growing very well. You know, it's a lot of interest, and it's very pleasing to see that in new countries like Latvia, small countries, they are able to have such nice facilities with such great enthusiasm. And, you know, it's very fresh, good atmosphere, good racing, so I enjoy it.
And from your position, it must be nice to see so many well-known drivers from many different disciplines choosing this as their sport.
Oh yeah, it's drivers, teams, brand, manufacturers, sponsors, supporters, TV. So, you know, when it's, I think it's a good recipe.
Okay, well, enjoy the semis and the final.
Thank you.
Great to have Jean Todt here. He will be watching this, and you will be watching it at home. First of all, of course, we've got for you the live semi-finals for the World Rallycross Championship. Then we have the last final for the European Rallycross Championship for supercars. And then, of course, at the end, we have the final for round 10 of the 2017 FIA World Rallycross Championship. Could we be crowning a champion? We'll almost certainly be crowning a team's champion. Well, they're all down there, lined up and ready to go. So let's see the grid for semi-final number 1. Johan Kristoffersson, the World Championship leader. Will he be the World Champion when we leave here? Alongside him, the current World Champion. Wow, Kristoffersson looks like he's on brand new boots. Row 2, Andreas Backrud and Timmy Hansen. Those 2 guys will fight to make it through, and Backrud's got new tyres as well. And bringing up the rear, Reini Snittisch. The crowd will go nuts for him, and Niklas Gronholm made it through in Q4, so great job. This will be fantastic. Marshals are waiting for the command from race control. Here we go, thumbs up to the drivers, settings on the go. Once they depart the grid, all fantastically choreographed here in Latvia. This event is so well organised. You can hear the music in the background, building up the tension. Look at all the teams packed into the pre-grid. The drivers for the second semi-final will be down there, ready, waiting, watching to see who gets the best start. The ready to race light comes on. Green for semi-final number 1. Hansen looked like great reaction times over on the left left-hand side of the grid. He's up alongside Ekstrom, but Kristoffersson is into the first corner first. Hansen's going to try and stay inside Bakkerud. Ekstrom's managed to back him up, though. Bakkerud's going to have to slide into P4 as he's still alongside Hansen. Gives him a push. Don't turn him around, Andreas. Andreas is up the inside. The great move. Nirtish takes advantage. The crowd go mad. Gronholm's gone up the inside of him, though. Hansen's been dumped down to P6, and Gronholm's the big winner there. Up from P6 down to P4. Brilliant.
Yeah, lots of action in the first lap here. This is perfect for Kristoffersson. They're all tussling, losing time with one another, and he's been able to get a gap. He's nearly a second up already.
Absolutely fantastic for him, but wow, at the back there. So these three guys fighting to make it through, but to be honest, Nirtish goes straight to the Joker, doesn't want to be behind Gronholm. Timmy Hansen lost out. I thought Bakkerud's move was fair enough. He was up the inside. He pushed him for a little while. What do you think?
Yeah, he had enough of this car at the inside there. You know, nearly his full car in there. That was the perfect move, really. I don't think you can argue that at all.
No, and then Nirtish and Gronholm going with him, you know, really opportunistic. I'm going through, you know, there's a gap, I'm going to stick the car in there. Brilliant stuff for them. Hansen's out in the gravel. Nirtish a fair way back now, but Nirtish the only person to a Joker, so will that pay off for him? Listen out for the crowd. If you see him move up even one place, they're going to go nuts. We're on board with Bakkerud.
We see he's nice and smooth, nice and tight. You've got to be so tight at this track. It's so easy to make a mistake, though. The barriers are very close. He's coming into the jump now. Nice, small tug on the handbrake just to get the nose in.
A little bit of a lift before the crest, almost like he didn't want to fly it completely flat out and end up going too far, as we see Hansen slots into the Joker now, misses the apex but carries good pace. He's got to beat Nirtish out. He needs to catch up with Bakkerud in front of him. So this is Nirtish versus Hansen. Listen to the crowd as they come round. It's going to be super tight. Nirtish will try and undercut him on the X, but Hansen knows. Very, very clever from Timmy Hansen, but now he's got a smoking rear tyre. Nirtish is piling the pressure on, and the rear left of Hansen is definitely going to be in trouble. Dan, look at this.
Oh, lots of smoke. This is definitely going to be bad news for Hansen. He's got to be careful here. He could end up with a puncture.
He could. It's big contact. So when you know, a little bit of smoke and it doesn't matter, but this is big contact, and it's going to depend how long that tyre can hold on for.
If you look carefully, you can see a bit of rubber. There we go. He's starting to get overheated. There's a bit of rubber coming off.
Has it gone down already? He's over the jump. You're seeing the Hansens there. Susan and Kenneth Hansen, and also Eric Farr and Sebastian Loeb spotter. So let's see Timmy's rear left. What's happening here? Has it gone down? Yeah, it hasn't, but affecting the handling, it seems, as well, by the way the car went through that long right-hander. But he's holding on from Nirtish at the minute, and Nirtish has got a pretty poor visibility. Nirtish has a look up the inside. Hansen's hanging on for dear life here. It's not going to make any difference, Dan, because neither of them are going to make it through to the semis.
No, they're
to the final.
They're too far back now. You're fighting for position now. You're not against the clock, so realistically, when the other guys do the Joker laps, they're going to come out in front.
They're going to be a long way back, aren't they? They're going to be a long. These guys are plus 10, and we think the Joker lap was only about 3 seconds in the wet conditions earlier on, so dry should be even faster than that. So here's Kristoffersson. What a lead over Matthias Ekstrom. Fastest lap of the day, 48.995. Gronholm's trying to go with him, but I mean, to me, Bakkerud's looking pretty safe where he is. Only the rear two of Jokers, so the others are all waiting. We spoke about this earlier, Dan. You know, do you all wait and go together, which is what these guys seem to tend to do, or would you go now and take a risk on it?
Yeah, I mean, you sort of stick out for the duration of the race. If you've got good clear track in front of you, try and build a healthy cushion behind you. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw maybe Bakkerud go now. He's got a bit of a gap, and you know, there may be the opportunity that Ekstrom makes a mistake whilst Bakkerud's on his Joker lap, so he could have the chance to catch him up on when they do the leapfrog.
There we are. Tommy Kristoffersson has a little look out of the spotter's tower at his son. Johan, I say, could tie the championship up here. He needs a gap of 60 points when we leave, but so far he's only been extending his lead over his teammate Petter Solberg by 5 or 6 points at each event as we watch Bakkerud go into the Joker. So we'll come down a little bit to what happens with Solberg in the next semi-final. If Solberg didn't make it, then we could be looking at the title being settled here. Gronholm comes around, hasn't Jokered, remember, and that's not going to help Bakkerud.
No, Bakkerud's now going to have Gronholm in front of him. I hope he doesn't hold him up too much, but he can also use him as a bit of a target, pull him along, try and gain even more time.
To me as well, it didn't look like Bakkerud was going to threaten the pace of Ekstrom, so in some ways he knows he's kind of booked his slot. You know, is there any point in trying to pass Gronholm? It's unlikely to get Ekstrom, hang it out and just make it to the final.
Yeah, I mean, Gronholm still has a Joker. He may as well just sit tight, not do anything stupid, and just take his place in third.
Kristoffersson came here knowing that if he took the full 30 points from a top qualifier, a win in the semi-final and a win in the final, that the only man who would be able to beat him to the world title is his teammate Petter Solberg, who's up in the next semi. He's doing everything he needs to do, rounds the final corner, and the world champion-elect books his place in the final here. Will it be enough to lift the big trophy this weekend? Ekström goes through with him, and then Andreas Backerud over the line in third. Everything there, Dan, happened in the first three corners. You know, that move by Backerud, it was an aggressive move on Hansen, but I think it was on, and he got followed through there by Nittisch and by Gronholm.
Yeah, that pass that Backerud pulled on Hansen, that was crucial. I think if he'd got caught up there, he may have missed his chance for third, because Gronholm and Reynes were coming as well.
Johan Kristoffersson, Mattias Ekström, Andreas Backerud go through to the final. Gronholm, Timmy Hansen and Reynes Nittisch, unfortunately at home in Latvia, won't go any further, but a brilliant show by him in front of his home crowd. 30,000 people have visited this circuit this weekend. The grandstands have been rammed the entire time, and this is the action that they came to see. So watch for Backerud here. Dan, talk us through it.
Yeah, so Backerud, he's on the outside of Hansen here, and realistically, he's going to get a bit squeezed, but he's got a wheel up there, and it's just enough. He's got enough of his car up there to make the gap, and the other guys just follow him. The door is open then.
Nittisch was brave there, wasn't he? He really threw it in, and that cost Hansen time, and that allowed Gronholm to get him in the back row. And then Gronholm getting past Nittisch. So where Nittisch carried that extra pace in, he actually then lost out to Gronholm on the exit.
Yeah, he had to brake later than he hoped, and it meant he couldn't get on the power as soon as he wanted to.
Now, we've seen people do this all weekend, so you saw there Hansen with the black lines going down on the road. This is Nittisch, look, so Nittisch trying to go up the inside on the previous corner. You can see the damage he did to the rear. It seems that the tyre held up for the rest of the final, but you know, clever tactics, because he had to hold on to that position. He wasn't even in third, but he knew if Nittisch got past, he'd be fifth, and then he has no chance of going through.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the guys in front of him could have made a mistake, and so he had to hold on for all he could.
Even though it cost him time to shut the door on the inside there, good job by him, but not enough to make it through. It's Kristoffersson who goes through with Ekström and Backerud.
Johan, you're one step closer to the dream of winning your first World Drivers' Championship, and it must seem symbolic that you were so much quicker in that race than the current champion.
In my world, I'm one step closer to win the event, and that's what's in my mind. But of course, on the way to be the world champion is the right way to collect the most points. So I'm very happy with the car. It worked very well in Q1 in similar conditions as now, and then we had some tricky Q2 and Q3, but the car was working fine. So it was just stay in a safe way to collect 16 points in the intermediates, and yeah, it's all about to don't drive faster than you need to. But I really wish that Petter have a good launch now, so we can have a VW lockout on the front in the final.
And do you have any fresh tyres left for the final?
Very, very.
Thank you.
Well, I don't think he has super. Well, he says very. I know what he means. Not brand new. We know he's using new tyres there. They've done one run, so they are fresh, you know. So he's in a very good position. Kristoffersson, he's hoping that Solberg's going to join him in the final. If he does, we're pretty sure that that's going to be it, and they will be crowned the team's champion when they leave here in Latvia. Great stuff from semi-final one. Andreas Backerud's fan club down there in the grandstand. That's handy because we're going to have a look at his start from semi-final number one. So have a look at this move. On board with Backerud. Here he goes. Launches. Dan, talk us through.
Yeah, so he's had a good launch. We can just see the pace of the Polo. He's pulled away, and he's got to try and keep out of trouble now. So he's gone to the outside, and bit of contact, and well, that's a bit of a scary thought going towards the tyres. But yeah, just held his line, and yeah, straight up the inside and through.
It was aggressive. It was aggressive, but that's what's booked his slot in the semi-final. And yeah, we do see in the semi-finals, I think, in my opinion, some of the best racing of the weekend, because where these guys always keep their heads down and go, I've got to get the best time, must be untidy, got to be perfect, you know. And Hansen from the other side. So let's see the contact from Hansen's side.
So here, obviously, Hansen's on the outside of turn one, but he's on the inside for turn two. So he's going to now try and squeeze Backerud out. He had to give him a little bit of room to be a bit fair, and then here we go. So we've had the contact. Backerud's made the door open for him. Reynes is there.
See, I think he was hoping to get the undercut back, wasn't he? Because he waited on the throttle, maybe to stick the nose up the inside of Backerud and get him on the way down, hoping Backerud's coming deep, and instead he's left the door open for Nittisch, and then Gronholm got through too.
Yeah, he went to turn, try and get the undercut, but he just soon got knocked back out. Reynes was there ready to pick up the pieces.
Of course, when the Joker laps played out, Hansen then cleverly kept the door shut on Nitish. I think do you see that? It looked like he was going to go Joker and change his mind, obviously, when Nitish went.
Yeah, you don't want to be following someone in the Joker. You're going to be losing a bit of time then. And the advantage of having the Joker lap is it sort of splits you up if you follow someone in there. Here we go. So Reynes wants to try and cut underneath, but Timmy knows that that's going to happen. He holds a tight line. Reynes is already going too fast. He can't sort of back out of it, and he's had to have the contact there just to try and take advantage of an opportunity that eventually didn't arise. But here we go.
That's what's so fun, though, isn't it, about a last corner Joker? And then you see Nitish. Then he's like, okay, I can't go inside. Gets on the gas and tries really hard to go outside, which he also can't do. But you know, that's what we want to see. I want to see people try. This is a brand new rallycross track. They built the Joker in the last section. For me, I love that. What do you feel about it as a driver?
Yeah, I think it's really good. Obviously, it makes the racing exciting all the way up to the flag because you don't know when the positions are going to change. We saw Bakrud in one of the qualifying sessions just pit, I think it was Sebastian.
It was.
Yeah, up the inside off of the Joker merge, and you know, it makes for a really exciting race.
Solberg up on the front row. There he is. He's ready for semi-final number 2. But he's got Sebastian Loeb, last year's winner, on his inside. What can Peugeot do? Can they stop the VW steamroller? Semi-final 2 is lined up. Let's see the grid. On pole, last year's Latvia winner, his sole win in the World Rallycross Championship, Sebastian Loeb. Next to him, Petter Solberg, double World Rallycross champion. Row 2, Topi Heikkinen, he was overnight top qualifier. Kevin Hansen next to him. What a performance in last year's Peugeot. Kevin would love to make it through to the final. And on the back row, Nico Müller, on only his second outing, books the 4th Audi into the semi-finals. A third of the places in the semis going to Audi. Fantastic by EKS. And Yanis Baumanis, can we see a Latvian in the final? They'll go mad if we do. Thumbs up from the marshals. They leave the grid. Are we going to see as much action on the way down into turn 3 as we saw in the first of the semi-finals? It's not impossible to pass here, but if you're going to do it, you need to get somebody, you need to mug them, you need to get them when they're unaware. That's what happened to Hansen, it's what Bakrud did. Can anybody do the same here? Solberg and Loeb with good starts. Heikkinen looks to have got a fantastic start there. He's almost up in between them. Heikkinen out into the side of Kevin Hansen. Oh, sideways! Solberg's gone sideways. Hey, smashed around. Solberg is hit hard in the side. This could be it. The World Championship could be decided here if Solberg doesn't go through. Johan Christophersen could be the World Champion. Sebastian Loeb leads. Look at the damage to Baumanis' car. Heikkinen drops down to P3. Unbelievable!
Yeah, Petter was trying to give Loeb a bit of room around outside of the first corner, and he was desperate to get past, but it cost him. He went too wide and he got tangled up by the rest of the traffic.
Solberg is there then, so Solberg is stopped. They're saying stop the race, so Solberg is obviously feeling that he needs the race to be stopped. We've got yellow flags being waved and we've got a red flag. Red flag out in the Joker lap, so we have red flags. And the race has been neutralised. The most important thing here is that Petter Solberg is okay. So red flag. When the cars roll back around, they'll head out and back to the pre-grid. So, well, that's a great shame. That's not what we wanted to see at all. So the most important thing here, and we'll bring an update just as soon as we have it, is that Petter is okay. I have to say, I think the car looks intact, and I think he will be okay. So Pernilla was talking to him on the radio. It was the marshals who called for the race to be stopped. That's fair enough. That's their call to do so. You know, they're officials. We value their input. Whether that turns out to be the correct decision or not doesn't matter right now. What matters is that Solberg is okay. So let's wait for an update on that. We'll bring it to you just as soon as we can. Okay, the car's rolling back to the grid. We'll get them lined up. We'll see if we can get semi-final number 2 back underway shortly. That's the crowd up in the VIP area. Some of the VIPs we've had here this weekend, of course, Jean Todt, think we also had it was either the Prime Minister or the President of Latvia is here as well. It just goes to show you what a big event this is, how important this event is to Latvia. Only a couple of million people live in this little country. We've had a brilliant time both times we've been here. Did I see somebody dressed up as Father Christmas in the grandstand there? I'm not sure. But we've had a brilliant time both years we've been here. They're so enthusiastic about the sport. You can see it's absolutely packed out, sold out. Grandstand's over at the far side. Full of people. We're going to have a look at the European Championship standings while we wait for this race to get itself sorted out. Now, Anton Markland, you will know, came here with an 18-point championship lead. That was as it stood. And Neil managed to catch up with him. Not enough points left after the semi-finals for Brinterson to be able to take the lead from Markland. So Anton Markland was crowned the FIA European Rallycross champion earlier today, and Neil Cole managed to catch up with him.
Yeah! Yes!
Congratulations, Anton. You are the 2017 European Rallycross champion.
Yeah, thank you. Whew. It was nice. Yeah, it's tried to hunt down Kiss now in Q4, but it was quick. It will be tough for the semi-finals and finals, but yeah, we are the champions, and that's what matters. It's just an amazing feeling. I'm so happy for everybody in the team who have done such a great job during the year. We have just shown great performance through every event. We have had our up and downs with some technical problems and me doing small mistakes, but in the end we have always been there doing top results, and yeah, it's just a team that I can thank for this title at the moment.
But you must be so happy because this has proved a point on the world stage, and for you personally, your own performance, you must be happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think we have shown great pace, even compared to the World Championship cars through all events. Now it has been a bit tricky to compare because of up-drying conditions and so on, but I think we would have been like P4 in Q2 in World Championship and just a couple of tenths from P1 in the World Championship. And I think we have shown that we are not just European champions, we would have done pretty good in the World Championship this year as well.
Well, enjoy the celebrations, but of course you've still got at least 2 races to go.
Yeah, I'll make my best to be on the podium, but now we have the title and now I will just relax and just have fun in the semi-final and final. Enjoy. Thank you.
Well, brilliant job by Anton Markland. You can see what it meant to him to take the European title. Of course, he'd won the touring car title in the past, and he is now the European supercar champion as well. We've got a final for those guys to come later on today. I wonder if he'll be standing on the top step of the podium, as well as holding the big trophy for European Rallycross. Well, we're still waiting to find out how Peter is. Neil Cole is with Sebastian Loeb, so we're going to have a chat with some of the drivers in the pre-grid while we wait for a report.
Well, Sebastian, you're back on the pre-grid, ready to restart semi-final 2. You'll have to do it all over again because that seemed to be a very good getaway for you.
Yeah, it was a good start, but now we have to restart, so to keep the concentration and just keep focused on it. It's no reason I'm not able to do it again, so I will try my best.
And is there a reason why we've seen this extra step up this weekend to be so competitive?
I think it's we are good when it's a lot of grip on the track, and it was the case here, and it's the case. So we like this condition, I like these conditions, and so yeah, the car was working perfectly at the moment. So we are in semi-final, in pole position. I hope we can continue on the same level.
Okay. Thanks, Sebastian. Good luck.
Thank you.
Sebastian down, trying to stay nice and calm in the pre-grid. This is the start team, and they're frantically working on Baumanis' car, because of course Baumanis had quite heavy contact. The first thing he's asked is how he's paired to the PSRX team.
Extracting him from the car, but he's got a lot of pain.
Yeah, it can be because the hit was quite heavy.
Okay, so we can hear then from Balmanis saying it can be because the hit was quite heavy. So Balmanis feels, and it might have been Balmanis that collected Solberg, and if he did, that was just a first corner incident there. If Petter's back hurts, there we are. That's what we're thinking. He was talking to one of the PSRX team, so we're hoping this is all just a precaution, of course. Now, in terms of Balmanis' car being worked on, we're not sure if it would be parc fermé conditions or not, because this is a little bit new territory. A stopped semi-final, a restarted one. So, is this work going to be deemed legal or not? We'll find out later on. You can see how much they are trying to get everything together on the front of that car. You see the air intakes are damaged over the top there. We've got the bumper hanging off, fair bit of damage on the car. Kevin Hansen will be just trying to stay focused and do what he can do to keep his mind where it needs to be to get back out when we eventually get semi-final 2 back underway. A busy pre-grid. It's unusual in the World Rallycross Championship. We're very much hoping to get semi-final 2 back underway as soon as possible. Right, we're going to have a look back at what happened in the European Rallycross Championship for supercars in their semi-finals. Remember, at this point, Anton Markland was already crowned the champion, so... This was the cars off the line. Anton Markland on the inside with an absolutely brilliant start. Of course, it was his championship rival, Brinson, I think, who was alongside him in turn 1. Again, contact in turn 1. That looks like Jerome Grosset-Janin, who had to take, let's say, an alternative joker lap to manage to stay in this one. Dan, some brilliant racing in European Supercar. The level's not quite the same as it is in World Championship, but these guys are very fast. And for me, Markland this year has been better than we've seen him in the World Championship.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could be a bit more relaxed this year. He's not in a World Championship, he's in the European Championship. He's back in a familiar car, and it's all the recipe to be, a chilled-up driver. It's when you get stepping up to a World Championship in an unfamiliar car, it can take its toll, and it's surprising the amount of stress you're under.
He had some very, very tough teammates too. People like Ekstrom and Kristoffersson. I don't mean tough that they were mean to him. I mean tough in that they're incredible drivers. He's back with the family team, and it was fantastic to see him do so well this year. He's won his semi-final, and he's made it through, hopefully, to pole in the final. Okay, on this one then, Tamas Paukis on the inside, losing outlook to Robin Larsen. Robin Larsen there taking the lead, and Derek Tohill managed to get alongside Paukis. Behind them it was one of the Albertech cars. Look at Larsen, he's so spectacular.
Yeah, Larsen is such a committed driver. He reminds me a bit of Liam Doran as well. The two of them very committed, very full sideways, maximum attack, no holding back.
Great car control too. We've seen a few times this year where Larsen's really been sending the car. This was Tohill dropping it on the brakes after the jump, and you can see why. Look, it looks to me like the suspension might have collapsed on the landing there.
Yeah, when he landed quite nose heavy, and I think it was the front left gave away on the car, and it just turned him into the barrier.
Larsen continuing to lead from Paukis. Tamas Paukis, impressive. He's got big plans for next year. At the minute, his sponsors want him to do things like his Hungarian Rallycross Championship as well as European Championship. He's very much hoping that he might be able to divert that budget next year and make his way up into Euros permanently and a few extra World Championship events. Neil Cole's down on that busy pre-grid. He's with Nico Muller.
Nico, to make the semi-final on only your second World Rallycross event is very impressive, and your learning curve has been very steep. Now you've got to deal with a restart.
Yeah, something that nobody of us hopes for. Obviously, we're crossing fingers for Petter that he's obviously getting out fine, hopefully. Yeah, my weekend so far was a bit of an up and down, but pace was there, like in France, so that's positive. And to also convert it into a semi-final entry, that's very positive. Happy with that. I mean, 4 Audis in the semis, 4 Audis in the top 10 after the intermediates, I think is a very big achievement for the whole team, so I'm glad for them. And now we hope to get as many of those 4 ringed cars into the final as possible.
And just give us an idea of how you've adapted so quickly, because it is so different from touring cars.
Well, I think I have the best teacher you could wish for with Matthias, world champion, so that's positive. And I have some funny teammates as well, and now we're just enjoying big time. And I mean, yeah, it is very different, but still it has 4 wheels and a powerful engine, a very powerful engine, and to get to quick lap times is one thing, but to adapt to the racing itself for me is the most difficult at the moment. Learning to jump, to fly is not so easy. So yeah, I still have much to learn, but really enjoying that.
Yeah, being in the air or in the gravel is normally bad, but I think you have to go. Thanks, Nico. Good luck.
Nico Müller echoing the thoughts of everyone in the paddock that we just hope Petter is fine. That is our main concern, and we're not fussed about the racing, and we hope you understand at home that these delays have to happen to try to ensure the safety that we would ensure of any of our drivers. Haikkonen's in the car. They're all ready to restart, but we are still waiting for the track to be cleared. So Solberg has been moved from the car to a medical facility, and we're waiting for the track to be cleared. Car doesn't look too badly damaged, but that's not to say that the impact wasn't large. So as I say, we're all hoping for the best for Petter. Neil Cole's down on the pre-grid. He's with Kevin Hansen this time, who I think has had a brilliant weekend in, remember, last year's car.
Kevin, you're still managing to get great pace and great results out of this car. What can you do now after a lengthy restart?
Yeah, first of all, I'm not at all pleased to see Petter is some way hurt. It's really a shame, and I was looking forward to race with him in this fight, and also for Sebastian to have a great battle with him. But unfortunately, that's the kind of sport we are in. It's of course dangerous, but yeah, I'm very happy to be in the semi-final in the second row, and now that one car more is gone, unfortunately, I will have a bigger chance to get to the final that I really wanted this year. So I will be for sure maximum attack and try to get that third or second place.
And generally, the Peugeot seemed to be a little bit close to the Volkswagens this weekend. What's been the secret?
I think both Timmy and Seb have done a really great job in the 2017 car. I'm of course a bit more behind in the old version, but I really enjoy, and I think we have the true team spirit to catch the leaders of the championship. So we for sure want to win once time this year at least.
While we're standing here, it is actually starting to rain. So does that mean we might look at a wet track, maybe changing tyres?
Well, for sure it's interesting with this weather here in Riga, but at the moment I think we're so close to a restart, so now everybody's on dry, so will be what it is.
Okay. Good luck. Thanks, Kevin.
Well, the weather may be changing. That would make things even more difficult. Sebastian, that is Sebastian Loeb in the car. I mean, if it rains, this is about position, Dan Rook, so, you know, it's the same for everyone. You know, I guess these guys obviously would prefer it if it didn't rain when they're all sitting there on slick tyres, but if it does rain, it is the same for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. We have the same conditions for everybody in the semi-final. It's not about the time, so you don't need to be quicker than the guys in semi-1.
No, just need to beat them with the same grip, Andreas Backrud is now with Neil Cole, so Neil's doing his best to hoover up all the interviews for us. Let's go and have a chat with Snackerud.
Andreas, when I spoke to you Saturday morning before any racing started, you told me that this was a track that it was impossible to overtake on, and yet you seem to have done more overtakes than anyone else. What's the secret behind that?
Well, forget whatever I said on Friday. You know, Rallycross is Rallycross and everything can happen. And I didn't thought it was possible to overtake here on this track, to be honest. But as the conditions changed, the heat developed, all of a sudden I saw gaps and made a big car become small, you know. And yeah, it was good. We had some good moves yesterday and also today. Today in the semi-final we had a hard battle with Timmy in the first and second corner, proper rallycross like it's been all weekend, and yeah, that's the way I like it. I like when the bumpers and the fenders are flying a little bit and that you not get reprimand or penalties for everything you're doing. So it's cool to see that we still can have the sport like I want it also. So it's nice.
And at the moment you're in the final. How much would you want a podium here and potentially a win?
No, I would love that. You know, I'm eager to win. I haven't won since last year, so I mean, like, would be meaning a lot for me. It looks like it's going to be very tough. We see the guy up front, championship leader, is really, really quick, and if he's having the day, it's really hard to challenge. They have a very good package this year, it looks like, and we are playing the catch-up, but I think we're getting close to something really good, and we had some good starts now, and we have a good speed, so if we can get another good start, I promise I will go all into the final. But hey, around us now. It's you see some rain in the air, and you never know what will happen. Hopefully, also it's all right with Petter. So I didn't see his crash, but I heard he's in the ambulance now. So hopefully it's all good.
Of course, we all send him our best. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bakkerud continues to echo the thoughts of everybody here. Peugeot mechanics are finished with any prep. I wonder if they finished working on Baumanis' car. Had fairly heavy damage to the front. Everybody standing. It's a fantastic grid shot we've got here. There is Reinis Nitish. Reinis won't be taking any further part this weekend, which is a real shame, but the atmosphere's just been absolutely brilliant, hasn't it? Hearing every time he's gone past the crowd, they've gone properly mad.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see, especially for the home drivers. You know, obviously they can't hear it when they're in the car, but you know, they know that the support that they have here. It's phenomenal.
Look how enthusiastic they are. Absolutely fantastic. Well, talking to Latvians and Latvian fans and Latvian drivers, Neil Cole is now with Jānis Baumanis, so we can have a chat with him as well.
Jānis, the bonnet is going back on the car, which is a good sign because there was a bit of damage, and I know the fans all around will be very pleased to see that. Do you think you're ready to restart Semi-2?
Yeah, when I get out of the car, I see the damage. It actually was quite massive. All the turbo pipe was completely broken, and also intercooler is moved, I would say, some few centimeters at least inside, closer to the engine. So, yeah, and the pipes was almost completely broken. So, as I see the guys taking new tubes here, put it on, so hopefully I have some proper power and I can do 6 laps properly and finish the race with great atmosphere.
Yeah, because you know that the many tens of thousands of fans here, all eyes are on you now.
Definitely, yeah. Thanks for them that they're coming to see me. But in this case, yeah, the car is damaged, and at least the engine temperature didn't went off so far. But we will see what's happening now in next laps. Also, some small rain is coming, so yeah, we will see in a few minutes how it's happening, and I hope the car is running properly, and I can also cross the finish line at least second.
Good. Well, we'll listen out for the crowd when you do. Well done.
Thank you.
Baumanis keen to make it through to the final if he possibly can. Of course, one less car in this one now. Kevin Hansen mentioned that you know, that's a possibility for them to go through, and the crowd really would go mad. So Dan, it's your second year here in Latvia. You know, this is a good. I mean, this is a modern venue. Lots of people like, you know, they like the traditional rallycross track. So do I. You know, and this is a converted normal racetrack to a rallycross track. I think it's a fantastic example of how you can do it.
Yeah, it is a fantastic example. I mean, we have seen some other tracks in the past that maybe the drivers haven't preferred, but I've not heard anyone complain about this track, and personally, I'd love to drive on it as well.
Fingers crossed we'll be able to drive on it next year instead of having to share the commentary box with me. Round of applause there from the crowd as they finally clear the track. And as I say, we'll bring you an update on Petter Solberg just as soon as we have an official update. We will bring you an official update. Until then, we'll be focusing on the racing. So semi-final number 2 needs to be reloaded back into the grid, and I think that's what the marshals will start to focus on now. We're going to get back to the racing. It does look likely that we will slightly overrun today, so with your local broadcasters, you'll have to check the situation there. It's going to depend what they've got lined up afterwards. Of course, we hope that they stay with the Rallycross. We have a semi-final and a World RX final still to go. Also a European Rallycross Championship final for supercars. We'll squeeze as much of that in as we can before we're scheduled to disappear from the airwaves, and then we will continue afterwards for those channels who continue to take us. So I hope you understand at home, these things very, very occasionally happen. Sebastian Loeb is back into the grid, back onto pole position, and of course will be unchallenged on the first row. They push the car back, and you can see, so there's the jump start centre, which I often talk about. Branded here with the title sponsor of the event, Neste. Toppy Haken, and Toppy's done well this weekend, doesn't he, to be fair? You know, I think he said to me yesterday that he's suddenly found a way that he can feel a little bit better in the car. We'll have a look at the grid, and I'll come back to you about that, Dan. Here we go. Let's see the grid for semi-final number 2, the restart. the front row on his own, last year's winner, Sebastian Loeb. Row 2, Topi Heikkinen and Kevin Hansen. Row 3, Nico Müller and Yannis Baumanis. Will Baumanis' car be in full health or not? Yeah, good performance from Heikkinen this weekend. Says he feels a bit better in the car.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see him doing so well. To be overnight top qualifier as well, and he had a fantastic Q2 race that was quite exciting against Kristoffersen. It is good to see him doing so well.
It's taken him a while, hasn't it, to get his head around the car. He's, you know, just saying that finally made it work for me. And of course, it is silly season at the minute. We don't really know who's going where next year, which manufacturers might join us, if any of the manufacturers might say enough. You know, there's lots going on in the background. You know, we had some interesting conversations, some of which are not for TV, unfortunately. You'll have to pester us on social media. But yeah, we're going to find out soon enough who's going where next year. Will Heikkinen stay now? He's got his head around that Audi. What can he do from row 2? Excited to find out. Muller's in there as well. Sebastian Loeb, though, with the biggest advantage here on the front row on his own. Ready to race, light goes out. Green light for semi-final number 2. Sebastian Loeb's got a decent start. Heikkinen trying to get alongside. Baumanis moves to the inside of Müller. Baumanis with a great pass on Müller. Going to try and go around the outside of Kevin Hansen. Yannis Baumanis is on a flat-out push here. Now he's going to lose out to Müller. Müller dropped back into P5. And Baumanis has to settle for P4, but it is Sebastian Loeb leading from Topi Heikkinen.
Yeah, Yannis off the start there, going from the outside straight to the inside, so he can watch all the drama unfold in front of him. Unfortunate there to miss out with Kevin. There was a bit of a squeeze again on turn 2, but you know, that's what's exciting about these first turns.
Kevin was pretty forceful there in pushing Baumanis off, but again, you have to, don't you? Because we saw what happened to Timmy when he allowed someone to be alongside him. Backward, he lost out. We see Baumanis goes into the Joker lap on this first lap. Sebastian Loeb, how much curb?
Well, as much curb as you can take in these things. Obviously, they've got to be careful.
Oh, Heikkinen, spin for Heikkinen. What happened there? Surely something broke on that dam.
Maybe drive shaft. He could have lost the front drive shaft there, gone to rear-wheel drive. I don't know. We're going to have to see it and drive along.
So Heikkinen then has dropped right back. Everybody's come past him. He comes past the common position now. Can't really see from where we are. He's still going, but that was mid-corner. I didn't see any contact or anything with the wall, but we'll have a look back in a moment. So Müller then is the only Audi left in this one. We know that Ekstrom's gone through. He'll be very pleased to see DTM mate Müller go through with him. But Sebastian Loeb, look at the gap he's opening up.
Yeah, he's so calm and collected in the car. Just tiny little movements. His eyes are laser focused. Rarely blinks. He's just getting his head down and doing the job.
Loeb takes, Kevin takes the Joker. So Kevin Hansen's taking the Joker. Loeb is still up front with Müller in P2. This is a super tight merge. Baumanis is going to try and hang it out round the outside. Kevin Hansen into the side of him. The crowd make a huge noise as they see Baumanis go through. Fantastic atmosphere from the local crowd. They've gone mad to see Baumanis making it up. One position past Kevin Hansen. He did well there as well around the outside. You know, I think Kevin went defensive thinking Baumanis was going to try and undercut him, and he didn't. He's got Narlevi around the outside instead. Oh, contact between them again. Kevin out on the grass.
So yeah, Baumanis did a crucial overtake there. That was the overtake for third position after the Joker merges. So he is in the final as it stands.
Well, they would absolutely love that here. Müller goes into the Joker. I think Baumanis, with the time they've lost there with the contact with him and Kevin, is unlikely to get up past Müller, but he might, as Dan Rook says, book that slot. Hits the barrier in the background. Needs to be careful for that. They don't penalise him for track limits. He's closer than I thought. He's close. I think Müller might have a problem because Baumanis has had a look up the inside of him too. The crowd are on their feet in the grandstand. So has Müller got a problem because he's dropped back 7.2 behind, or is Baumanis just on an absolute flyer?
Yeah, Baumanis got excellent traction off of that last corner. He nearly slingshot up the inside of Müller there. Just he picked the perfect line and just straight line out of the corner.
With that contact with Kevin, I was sure that he would have lost time, but he hasn't. I mean, he's gained it. Same as Sebastian Loeb. Where's Loeb as well? Loeb's 7.5 seconds up the road over the jump. If Baumanis can get through, he'll try. That's the crowd roaring on the back straight as well as the front straight. They're absolutely mad for the home drivers here. This is what we want to see at all our World Rallycross events as this sport continues to grow. Over the jump, we've got side-by-side jumps here in the standard and the Joker lap. Round the left-hander. There is is Sebastian Loeb through turn 2 on the gears up towards turn 3. This is where his teammate Hansen took him out last year in damp conditions down the roof. He's looking at the timing screen.
So yeah, Sebastian's best lap time, he's actually half a second off Kristoffersen's best lap time. So Kristoffersen's still the pace man out there, but for this race, you know, Loeb's just checked out.
Interesting to see, as it were. I mean, the rain that they were saying was falling on the grid for me was tiny. I don't think it's enough to affect grip levels. What do you think?
No, definitely not. You know, it's not left any damp patches anywhere. We can't see it from our commentary position. There's no marks on the window. That will not have affected the track at all.
So Kristoffersen then, who's booked his place in the final already, of course, from semi-final number 1, will be on the front row. Loeb has another lap to go before he can book his place from semi-final number 2. The Peugeot does look really good here. Loeb said he found a setting that he was really comfortable with, and I have to say he's hustling this car.
Yeah, he is really trying his best with the car, trying little changes all the time. And I mean, we saw a big change in France, and it's a similar type of track here. It's quite flat, very smooth. You have to drive a similar style, and it seems to be working.
Look at that lovely rotation just on the exit, gets the car lined up on the gas, mega traction away.
Yeah, just fantastic. Get in a straight line, get the power down as fast as you can, exit the corner, you just go.
Pretty much what we've come to expect from a man with this level of experience. Sebastian Loeb, a legend in World Rallying, breaking into a little bit of a sweat here. That's how physical these cars are to drive. But Loeb is going to take this one. Oh, wide-eyed there as he comes over the jump and on the brakes into the final corner. Sebastian Loeb wins semi-final number 2 here in Latvia. P2 is going to go to Nico Müller, and the crowd go mad because Yanis Balmanis has put a Latvian in the final in Riga. I'm not sure Balmanis can believe it.
Fantastic performance by both Balmanis and Nico Müller. He's in the final in his second event.
Yeah, fair point. So look at that. I mean, you can't help but focus on the crowd here for that, can you?
No.
But yeah, absolutely outrageous by Müller. Really, you know, to come into a World Championship and get to the final by the second attempt. Didn't even make the semis in France. He was unlucky in France, wasn't he? He was fast in France, but unlucky.
Yeah, lots of difficult conditions in France as well.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Balmanis bows down to the crowd. I was right, there's a row of Santa Clauses in the audience. My eyes were not deceiving me. Tell you what, they needed that Santa out. It's been cold here the last couple of days. It definitely wasn't one for Hawaiian shirts. Loeb heading back. The cars are held in the middle there because they have to cross over the track to get back, and the reason they were held is that Topi Heikkinen has only just crossed the start-finish line. So I'm convinced that's mechanical, Dan. You know, that was a snap spin mid-corner.
Yeah, such a shame for Topi. You know, the car just lit up, tyre smoke everywhere, just spun around 360 degrees.
And gone.
Gone, yeah. I don't think there's anything he could have done about it.
Sebastian Loeb takes semi-final number 2 from Nico Müller, and Yanis Balmanis puts a Latvian into the final. So there was Loeb, look, untroubled. Look at the start from row 2 there as well that Topi got. He got an absolutely mega start. This was Balmanis, so it was a battle really between Balmanis and Kevin, wasn't it, here?
Yeah, so he's got to try and push his way back over us. He's going to end up in those tyres, and yeah, tyres are hard.
Look at Kevin there, with the contact, had at least one wheel, if not 2 in the air. Balmanis had to give way there, didn't he, because of tyres on the outside. Loeb, Heikkinen, yeah, there's no contact there, is there?
No.
It's got to be mechanical.
Yeah, to me it looks like drive shaft maybe.
And that, of course, was an opportunity for Balmanis to go up one position straight away, and by now he'd have been thinking, I could do this. Look at Kevin, holding the tight line, then realises, he's going round my outside, tries to get on the gas, bit of contact. I actually think that's a fair pass. What do you reckon?
Yeah, that was brilliant. I'm surprised that Yanis was able to find the traction out so wide, but yeah, he made it work and he got through.
He did indeed. Oh, contact there from Kevin. Not, yeah, what are your thoughts on that one, Dan?
Racing incident.
Yeah, says the driver. Borderline, I think that was slightly in the side, but there you go. These guys race hard, and I don't want to see them stop racing hard. Let's be clear about that right now. I'd rather see them race hard and occasionally get told off than be scared to make a move. Sebastian Loeb sliding the Peugeot 208 to victory in semi-final number 2. Up and over the jump and taking the checkered flag. Well, one man will be ecstatic to have made it through to the final. That is Yanis Balmanis.
Yanis, a moment ago you pulled up and you were pumping your fist and cheering. The crowd were loving that. Congratulations, you have made it through the final, but try and talk us through the semi.
through the semi. So I start and I'm third in the finish, but actually no, it was full action-packed race, a lot of contacts, and my power steering was too hot already in the last lap, and I didn't feel the steer at all. So some contacts with the wheels, and proper semi-final, I would say.
And obviously the team did a miracle to get this on the road anyway, so I guess you need to go and get it fixed again.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of things to fix now.
Okay, see you in the final. Well done.
Thank you. See you in the final.
Our malice is made up. I think that interview was up on the big screens because you could hear the crowd go nuts when it was finished. So very, very well done indeed. On then to the European Rallycross Championship for supercars. We are not hanging around now. The last final for these guys. They've had 5 rounds this year. Anton Markland, the European Rallycross champion earlier today, is on pole with Tamas Paukis alongside him. Row 2, Thomas Brinderson, who's second in the championship, and Robin Larsson, who is 4th. And then Tamas Karai and Tommy Rustad. Rustad currently in 3rd. So we've got a fantastic lineup in this one of the very top drivers from this year. Can Markland take the top step of the podium here? It would be brilliant to celebrate the championship with a win. But it's going to be a big ask to do so against this competition. Watch then for Paukis on row 1. Look for Brinderson trying to go through the gap. Markland will be aware of that and try and close the door. Rustad at the back, look, far left, in a good position to pick up the pieces if it all goes wrong. And Larsson, he's got a clear line of sight, and it's a brilliant start by Larsson. He's absolutely smoked it off the line. He's alongside Anton Markland. Decides to slot it just behind him. Tamas Karai's gone super aggressive. He almost makes it up into P3, but can't quite. Rustad's going to try and pass Karai on the way down to turn 3. Karai's got the inside line. The door is open on Karai's car. Brinderson has a look up the inside. Brinderson's been dumped down to the back of the pack, but that was the start of the weekend, Dan Rook, by Larsson.
Yeah, super start. You just saw his reactions. His nose lifted before anyone else's, hooked up the grip, and just went, and no one else could do anything about it. He was past them before they knew they had to block him.
Guessed it or unbelievable reaction? I mean, look, unbelievable reaction, to be fair.
You struggle to guess these lights. I'd say it's definitely an unbelievable reaction. He's that pumped up now after the long wait. He's out there to prove himself now.
Absolutely fantastic. What can he do against Anton Markland? Of course, these guys, previous touring car protagonists, the 2-litre real drive class, who moved up to supercars. Larsson's won around the World Rallycross Championship before in Argentina a couple of years ago. So, yeah, very, very good drivers, top level. Tamas Paukis, a driver who's coming the other way, coming up through, and he's been very, very impressive, and he's really harassing Larsson.
Yeah, he's been quick all year, and you can't rule him out. And you look at him now, Larsson very, very sideways. We've not seen that from a lot of the world drivers. I think Larsson, he just makes it work for him, doesn't he?
I love it. I want to demand it as a regulation that they have to go sideways. You see it through that corner, and he's got the nose to the barrier. You're thinking he's going to hook it and end up spinning round, and instead he's just broadside round the whole corner.
Yeah, somehow it works.
It shouldn't, should it? Because you know, coming from RX2, which you were talking about a bit earlier today, has been a brilliant learning facility for you to keep the car straight. That's the fastest way, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, my problem going into RX2 was I like to hang the tail out as well. And I soon realised that that's actually not very fast.
Not the fastest way. Probably not the fastest way for these guys. Coming past the competition now, we've got the Karai, and we've got Rustad and Brinderson. Rustad and Brinderson have taken their jokers. Paukis is continuing to apply the pressure to Larsson. For me, Paukis should joke it out. There's only 3 laps left. If he wants to try and find a way past, he's going to have to try and get into clean air.
Yeah, there's a gap there for him to go in. He's got a bit of a gap back to Karai. I think it's about 5 seconds there. So he's got enough room to go in and come back out in the same position. Just gives himself to clear it. And now he goes, yeah. So
great analysis from Dan Root, looking at the timing screen and seeing the gap backwards. It's a very, very good point. Leaves himself in no danger. Robin Larsson out on the dust in the standard lap. Has that cost him any time? You can see the cloud of dust in the background as Paukis comes through the double left-hander. And he will now have to wait for Larsson to joker when he goes. But for me, Paukis had the measure of the two in terms of pace. Larsson was really ragged, but is it enough to gap him in terms of this? And do you now respond if you're Larsson? I think you go now if you know Paukis might edge you on pace.
Yeah, I think Larsson has to go now just to cover him off. And then he's got, even if he doesn't, he's then got another couple of laps to try and make up the ground on the track.
Brinderson is all over everything. The curbs, the grass, the dirt, the lot. He's out sideways, can't find a way through. Not going to be able to repeat his performance from last time out in France when, of course, he took his first win in European Rallycross. Anton Markland, the champion, and we're bang on the money. Well done. Into the Joker lap goes Larson. This is Larson versus Kiss for P2 in the last round of the European Rallycross Championship for Supercars. Dan Rook is indicating to me he thinks it's going to be close. I think he's right. Is Kiss going to hang it out around the outside and try and get the undercut the inside? Larson backs it up. Kiss is going to find a way anyway. Kiss has a look up the inside, but he can't. And I think he should have done a Valmanis there and just gone up the outside.
Yeah, we know that they're going to try and hug that inside line because it's been the obvious thing to do through the races, but there we are.
Yeah, but he could have tried that, and then Larson could have run wide and he'd have missed the opportunity. You've got to guess, haven't you? 50-50. You go wide, you go tight, whichever it is. You've got to have a crack at it. He did. He hasn't pulled it off, so he's now got to apply the pressure and hope for a mistake from Larson.
And I mean, that's the beauty of Rallycross, is it's such a gamble what you try. You've got to try absolutely anything you can.
And the Joker too, you know, our pit stop, if you like, our tactics, as we say that. Into the Joker lap goes Anton Markland, the European Rallycross champion for 2017. And this gives you an idea of the pace of this guy this year. He's done a couple of qualifiers where he would have been P4 or P5 in the World Championship, Dan, when we've been at events where the two categories have run alongside each other.
Yeah, he's just gone out in this final and he's just shown his class. The pressure's off, he's out there driving for fun, and as soon as that pressure's lifted, your performance just increases like crazy. I mean, look at the gap he's pulled on these guys. And it's not like Larson and Palkis are slow drivers either. You know, they are
top draw. They are top draw.
Larson has won a World Rallycross event.
Yeah, exactly. That shows you the level he's at. I'd love to see Markland come back to the World Championship next year. It'd be interesting to see what he decides to do. Maybe a couple of world outings alongside Euro, whatever it is. For me, this is the best I've seen him drive in the seasons I've been working in the championship. He was in touring car and then up into supercar, the various different team moves, and finally back with the family team. Anton Markland is going to win the final round of the European Rallycross Championship 2017. He sends it over the line, and the fireworks fly for the European Rallycross champion for Supercar 2017. Goes off for the donuts. Celebrations for the champion. Brilliant job, Anton Markland. Double serving of donuts there.
Yeah.
Perfect weekend for Markland. Job done. I mean, the job was done in qualifying, and he said in the interview with Neil Cole, I can relax now, and that was the drive for me of a man who was like totally relaxed. They were way nearer to him during qualifying when he was careful, get the points, get the job done.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, he's now driving that car in the final for fun, and the pressure's gone. You can just go out there and chill and just bring your best performance.
Anton Markland wins not only Latvia, but the European Rallycross Championship for Supercars. Robin Larson is P2, Tamas Palkis, Tommy Rustad, Thomas Brinterson and Tamas Karai. Maybe your finalists in Latvia. And we can then have a look back at some of the action off the line. Tiny little movement it there, looked like early, didn't it? And then managed to hold it off. But Larson, and so committed on the brakes. You know, the car reminds me of Solberg's old setups where you saw the nose rise and fall so very quickly.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the supercars, that they move around so much. I mean, we saw Ken, I think it was in his Q4 race. He looked like the car was about to take off. His front end was miles in the air.
Huge jump there from Markland. He's got full confidence in this car this year. Tamas Palkis, I hope we're going to see more of him next year. European Rallycross Championship for Supercars has been brilliant, I think, and a great idea to see these guys do less rounds, because it's hard to raise the money, Dan, as you know, to move up from the other categories to it. If you've got a full round of 10 events, they can't afford it. So these guys are in that position where they can do, say, 5, maybe pick up the European title. It's got to be a good thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing to have limited rounds. As we look back at the move there that was for second.
Yeah, Palkis trying to get past Larson and unable to do so.
Yeah, so having limited rounds, and I mean, we've seen Brinson move up from RX2, what was RX Lights last year, and he's put in a brilliant performance.
Markland, though, has been the man to beat this season. He won in Spain, he was second in Norway, he won in Sweden. France didn't quite go his way, maybe bottled it a little bit, knowing that it was coming. But there it is, 129 points, confirming Anton Markland as the champion in 2017 from Thomas Brinterson. What a performance by him. as Dan Rookstead, a graduate of RX2. Tamas Palkis, he's been a bit unlucky this year as well. I think he had a shocker in, was it Sweden? He did. He damaged the roll cage in Sweden. So where would he have been if that hadn't happened? Look, he's not far off. Robin Larsen didn't have a fantastic weekend. I believe it was in France. He missed out in the semi-finals. So, yeah, these guys might well be back next year. Derek Tohu, Alexander Wahl, Tommy Rustad, Peter Hedström. Going to be a great series next year. Cars are lined up, ready for the final here. We hope that some of you will be able to stay with us for that. Loeb with the doors open, Kristoffersson the same. Everybody going through their final preparations. Ekström climbs into the car. He's going to get his belts on. Dan, nervous times for the drivers.
Yeah, the tension's building. I mean, you can see Sebastian's got the doors open, trying to get some air to the car. I think Neil Cole's with Johan Kristoffersson.
Johan, first of all, the most important thing is to say we wish the very best to your teammate and boss, Petter Solberg. Do you have any word as to how he is?
No, I don't have any news, unfortunately, for Petter, but my focus will be to do this final first, and then we'll see, but I hope it's okay.
We hope it's okay too. Now, the final, it's a little bit damp. There is rain falling, but not enough for a wet track, but the conditions have already been complicated here. This is just one more complicated factor.
Yeah, that's true, but it's nice when you have a simple car to have a complicated track, then it's not a big issue.
Okay, well, good luck. We know that there's a lot of pressure on you.
Is it?
Thank you.
Yeah, Kristoffersson with a big smile. He just doesn't feel the pressure, does he? Mattias Ekström. He'll be hoping that he can maybe take the fight to Kristoffersson. Loeb also 54 points back to Solberg for Kristoffersson. So, ooh, okay, so live maths, my favourite. Kristoffersson needs a gap of 60. Remember, Solberg hasn't made it through. We have an update on Solberg. Petter taken to hospital for precautionary checks. Further update to follow. So Kristoffersson needs to have a 60-point gap to take the championship here in Latvia. Of course, 8 points would see that gap over Petter, but I can't remember what it said over Ekström already. Sebastian Loeb took the win here. The guy standing by Sebastian's door is Martins, and Martins is from Latvia. He loved it last year when they won here. I met some of the crowd yesterday and they said they loved it. They would love it if a Latvian doesn't win, if Loeb wins, because of Martins. So Martins has been in magazines and things here in Latvia. He's a famous engineer, a nice guy too. Looking forward to this. Sebastian Loeb looks up, gives a little nod. We're nearly ready for the final of round 10. Loading the grid then for the final of round 10 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship. Who is going to take this one? And is it going to result in Johan Kristoffersson being the World Rallycross Champion? We're pretty sure by our maths that they've tied up the team's title, but they won't be celebrating that right now for obvious reasons. Loeb onto the grid alongside Kristoffersson. It's Kristoffersson who's on pole. You can see Ekström is good to load up as well. Muller does his pre-start. Here is the lineup for the final here in Latvia. Johan Kristoffersson on pole position, Sebastian Loeb next to him. It's an Audi row 2, Mattias Ekström and Nico Muller. And bringing up the rear, Andreas Backrud and Yannis Balmanis. What can Balmanis do at home? Could he get a podium here? And what would the crowd do if he does? There's Balmanis with his final practice start. Monster Energy girls are about to leave the grid. Of course, there will be a Monster Energy Supercharger award to be awarded for the fastest reaction time off the lights. Robin Larson would definitely have won that in the European Championship, no doubt. We're hearing reports of rain across the back of the circuit. I have to say, we've got spots of it on the side of the commentary box. We know these guys are going to be on slick tyres. It doesn't look dark enough to me to be particularly heavy. We are seeing hoods go up in the crowd. Here we go. The marshals are leaving the grid. The pre-grid is a little emptier than it was before because this is the final race of the weekend. Kristoffersson looking to wrap up the World Championship. He took his 5th win in a row. It'll be another record, but he doesn't care about that. He just cares about the big trophy. Green light and away. Sebastian Loeb moves across Ekstrom, trying to go on the inside of him down into turn 1. It is Kristoffersson that leads. Baccarat was left on the line. Baumanis has gone round the outside into P2. Go on, Baumanis at home in Latvia. Baumanis is up into P2. Ekstrom's gone up the inside of those, lost the position already. Muller is in behind him. Baumanis finds good traction on the exit. He's right all over the back of Ekstrom. Look, there's contact again between him and Ekstrom. It was great to see him up there. The crowd loved it, but out front, Kristoffersson leads.
Yeah, Baumanis wants this podium. Look at how hard he's trying. He is all over the back of Ekstrom. He's not giving him a break. But all the meanwhile, Kristoffersson's pulled the gap he wants whilst they're fighting.
He's just done it again, hasn't he? From pole, great start and away. Sebastian Loeb didn't do very well from the first row, did he? Ended up going backwards.
No, we've seen him have some fantastic starts over the weekend. We saw him get the jump in one of the qualifying heats to the polos, so I don't know what happened there, and a disaster for Baccarat getting left behind as well.
Muller right up behind Baumanis. Baumanis will be desperate at least to keep him behind him. He can't get in front of Ekstrom. He will be desperate to keep Muller behind him. Try and hold on backwards onto the back of this train. Pretty good by him. Matthias Ekstrom wins the Monster Energy Supercharger Award. Oh, Baccarat, careful now, a bit naughty. He knows he backed out of that, didn't he?
Yeah, I know he's had a few reprimands already this year, so he's got to be a bit careful. We can't afford to lose championship points.
No, he can't indeed. Reprimands brought in after last year when the contact between Ekstrom and Solberg, which effectively decided the title. So they now get a system where they get warned by the stewards, and if they get too many warnings, then they get championship points taken away from them. Baccarat slides off into the joker lap. Sebastian Loeb on the inside, I think, is lost out of any chance here of winning in Latvia. It's going to be Loeb versus Baccarat at the merge. I think Loeb's got this, but Baccarat could stand a chance. He doesn't, so Loeb sweeps around the outside. Baccarat can't find the traction from there to go back in. So those two have jokered, and Loeb is in front of Baccarat. And Baccarat was on the back of these guys, so they're not a million miles away, Dan.
No, so Baccarat now, he almost wants to be working with Loeb. He wants to be getting their head down, try and close the gap to the two people in front of him. These guys are going to be fighting it out. We know how much Yannis wants this podium. And for Nico as well, his second event, he's going to be trying for the podium too, so there's probably going to be a battle here.
Absolutely huge jump by Nico Muller in the background. Send it.
Yeah, send it. And he goes into the joker now, so that's to cover off Baccarat and Loeb.
Okay, here we go, then Nico Muller trying to hold on here. What can he do in Latvia? Is he going to get himself a third or a fourth? Muller, though, I think is going to lose out. He does. Surely Loeb's going to come round him. I think Baccarat might too, and Muller drops back, so Muller can't hold on. That means that the pace of Loeb and Baccarat is on for catching Baumanis too, so this is for Baumanis taking a podium at home in Latvia, as well as Kristoffersson, of course, out front, with Ekstrom behind him, the world champion-elect, with the world champion behind.
So, yeah, Baumanis needs to get his head down. If he wants to get this podium, he needs to try and maintain this gap, or if not, build it.
If the positions remain like this, Johan Kristoffersson will be the world rallycross champion. He will have a gap of more than or equal to 60 points, and he will be unbeatable as we head to Estering for the second to last round. Kristoffersson is racing for the World Championship. Baumanis is racing for a position on the podium at home in Latvia. I'd love to see him do it because I love a good home story, but I think he's going to get beaten to the merge. Oh, he does. Baumanis drops back. That's the way it goes. Unlucky for Baumanis. The crowd still stand up for him as he comes past. He's put up a brilliant fight here, probably the drive of the year for Baumanis. But what about Kristoffersson and Ekstrom?
Yeah, Kristoffersson's just kept his head down and he's just checked out. No one's even been able to get near him since this start.
Round the left-hander, up towards the jump. So if Solberg hadn't gone out in the semi-finals, this would have gone to the last round. We knew that if Kristoffersson got a perfect score here in Latvia, that the only person who could beat him would be Petter, and it hasn't gone Petter's way. Ekstrom around the outside. He's carrying the number 1 on his car, but he's about to have to hand that over to Johan Kristoffersson. We've got 1 lap to go. Kristoffersson has still got to joker. This is not over yet, and Ekstrom's gone to cover off Loeb in the background. So Loeb actually has managed to fight his way way back up into a podium position.
Yeah, impressive by Loeb. He got himself into clear air in lap 1, and he just kept his head down, kept pushing, and picked them off as a joker strategy's paid out.
So you can see the ticks up on the top left of your screen. Kristoffersen is the only man who has to take his alternative lap, that alternative lap that is unique to this fantastic sport. He rounds the long right-hander up and over the gravel jump. What a performance by him at the last few events. He's qualified first, he's won his semi-final, and he's won his final at the last 3 events. It's been 3 perfect scores in a row. It's going to be a 4th one here. He has broken every single record in the book. And as he comes around the right and the left, he's going to take his 5th win in a row, his 6th of the season. And Johan Kristoffersen is going to be crowned the 2017 World Rallycross Champion. He's done it. They're hugging next door. He's done it. Kristoffersen with the donuts. Tommy and Peresman hugging up in the sponsors' tower. Brilliant to see them jumping up and down. Go on, Johan, world champion. World champion. Yes.
I'm afraid I can only imagine what that feels like at the moment.
Brilliant. Kristoffersen has done it. He is the World Rallycross champion. Neil Cole is with his dad, Tommy.
There's tyre smoke behind you from the donuts of your son, who is the World Rallycross Champion 2017.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's a long story. Been fighting so long time to push him to go through different series, and all time believing that he can one time stand where he's standing today. So it's a great day, and it's really difficult for the moment to just take it in. But it's a great moment for all of us, and it's so many people behind Johan. Finally ended up in the right team. Get so good support from Petter and the crew, and from Volkswagen Motorsport. Our sponsors have done so great job and push him all the time. So it's really a big team effort to win this, and I'm so proud of you on this day.
We are too. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thumbs up from Tommy Kristoffersen. His son has just done what everybody in this paddock dreams of doing. He's done what he's talked about all year long. He'll be lifting the big trophy. It's what he's had his focus on for so long. So Matthias Ekström in P2 wins the Supercharger Award. Sebastian Loeb, last year's winner, is in 3rd. Andreas Backerud, Janis Baumanis, Nico Müller. But the man at the top of the table, Johan Kristoffersen, wins in Latvia and is the 2017 FIA World Rallycross Champion. So pleased for you. Tommy Kristoffersen's just come into the commentary box. Tommy, we're so pleased for you. Well done, mate. A big hug from Tommy. It's fantastic. Congratulations. Forgive us for talking off air, but you can't say no to the world champion's dad when he comes into the commentary box. So good to see. So good to see. Baumanis out the side of the car. Crowd going nuts for him. Oh, wow, look at Baumanis' car. Everything's missing from the door, look. Only the door pull is there. He gets out the car, look at the crowd. The crowd are going mad for Baumanis. he's P5, he's got a bigger cheer almost than the world champion. Full of emotion here, it's absolutely fantastic. Ekström now pulling donuts in front of the grandstand. So Ekström, the outgoing world champion, a few donuts for P2. And maybe that's a celebration of what was, of course, he's been a brilliant ambassador for this sport, Ekström has, as the champion, carrying that #1. And they're now taking him off, hopefully, to park firmly. The cars are coming in directly underneath the commentary position. Look at Johan Kristoffersen's eyes. He's absolutely wide-eyed. He's done it. Look at him, he can't believe it. He cannot, he's taking just a few months. I've done it. A nod and a smile. I don't think he doesn't know what to say.
I think he's going to be smiling for the rest of the week.
For the rest of the year. As far as I can remember, nobody's wrapped it up. Well, maybe Solberg did one year, actually. Maybe Solberg with 2 to go, but look at that grin. He's not, Johan is hilarious. He's a lovely guy. He's a riot away from the racing. but he's not the most emotional guy. He doesn't show his emotions. He's been telling us, oh yeah, no, it's not a big dream, it's a target. You know, look at it, you just know. It's sinking in, and Johan Kristoffersson is about to burst into tears. I think he's
We saw Ekström last year when he took the championship, burst into tears. It's such an emotional time for these guys.
Oh, incredible. Well, riding alongside the world champion Tim Whittington, of course, the drivers' liaison for the World Rallycross Championship. Can't keep up with the world champion. No one's been able to keep up with the world champion all year. Look at that, he's cool enough to drive his car, hanging out the door, off into Park Ferme. He's right underneath the Untitled Spotters Tower now. He's coming through a huge crowd full of Latvians, followed by photographers, cameramen, IMG officials, people from the FIA. Kristoffersson makes his way into Park Ferme. Julia stopping the crowd going in. There's a health and safety lady who's making sure that we don't have 50,000 Latvians in Park Ferme. Johan Kristoffersson has done it. Neil Cole, you can see waiting down there with our cameraman for Johan. I don't think Johan can quite believe he's done it. They're sending them over to... there's Anton Markland, the European Rallycross champion, there to congratulate him. Pernilla Solberg, mixed emotions for Pernilla because, as I say, Petter taken to hospital for precautionary checks. Further update to follow, what we have for you. There are the championship standings after round 10 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship with 2 rounds to go in 2017. Johan Kristoffersson is the World Rallycross Champion. Petter Solberg in P2, Matthias Ekström in P3. The champion unable to defend that title this year because, of course, Ekström has focused on Audi's title aspirations in the Deutsche Tourenwagen Masters, the DTM. That's your top 3. At the top of them, Johan Kristoffersson is with Neil Cole now.
Here we go. So Johan Kristoffersson just making sure he's got the right cap on, because this is the moment you've probably dreamed of your whole life. You are an FIA World Rallycross champion.
Yeah, it feels really amazing. You know, I think it will take some time before it sink in because I really was prepared to win here to secure the World Championship. But now we secure both the team championship and also the drivers championship, and to be able to win 5 victories in a row is just amazing. And big thanks to everyone, first of all in the team, that made this happen and so on. And also feel very sorry for Petter for this accident in the first corner, but I also have to say big thanks to my family and my father, because we're really fighting to be able to be world champion.
We very rarely see emotion from you because you're so driven. This is incredible. It shows how much it means to you and your dad, everyone in the Spotters Tower. There's a huge amount of affection for this win. It's a popular win.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's always special when someone wins a world championship, and yeah, it's nice to have it done.
Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Johan Kristoffersson, the World Rallycross champion, and him and his teammate Petter Solberg are the team's champions as well, with the backing of Volkswagen. PSRX Volkswagen Sweden are the team's champion for the FIA World Rallycross Championship in 2017. Team Peugeot Hansen second, EKSRX are in third. Neil Cole is with EKS's Matthias Ekström now.
Matthias, it must be mixed emotions now because it was a good, tough race weekend, but it's the moment where your number 1 on the car kind of comes to an end.
I will always keep the number 1 on the car from this one and from last year, so nobody can take that away. But I say congratulations to Johan. He did a very good this season, and unfortunately we did not really have a real chance to give them a battle, but he did a good job and he deserves to be a world champion because they had the best package.
Great drive from you this weekend, but very impressive. The whole package. 4 Audis did so well this weekend. What was the secret?
I think we were here testing and everybody felt quite confident. The track layout is a bit more difficult, I think. So also our guys, I mean, really sorry for Toppis. I think a drive shaft broke in his semi-final, so he would have deserved to be in the final as well. But very impressed with all of the guys. I mean, Nico in his second World RX event to be in the final, I think is showing that he also has a huge potential in this sport. And Reinis again did a solid job to be in the semi. So for EKS was a solid weekend, but missing out on the win. But like you see, we got what we deserved, and we are still happy with that.
Yeah, well done. Enjoy your deserved podium.
Thank you.
Kristoffersen, these were the celebrations just after. At this point, I don't think it had quite sunk in. He was the world champion, and the emotion came when he spoke to Neil Cole a few moments ago. That's proper donuts, the doors open and everything. Wonderful, wonderful stuff from Kristoffersen. He's over the moon. Sebastian Loeb won it last year. This year, he's managed to take P3.
It was fantastic to watch you drive this circuit this weekend. Couldn't go for a second win here in Latvia, but another podium is very good.
Yeah, it's good. I think we had the pace to be able to fight for the win in the final, but on the start I didn't take a really good start, and so Matthias was able to put his nose inside, and then I couldn't keep ahead in the first corner. I went in the gravel, lost all the places, and then I pushed really hard, started to catch up, and finally on the podium is not too bad. The start was really bad, so the end is quite good.
And just quickly a word about Johan Kristoffersen, our new champion.
Yeah, but he was amazing this year. He was dominating all the time. He won, and now I think it's the 5th in a row that he won. So no one was able to contest his speed, and he deserved it. He made a great season. He's a great driver.
Enjoy your podium.
Thank you.
There's the podium, the top step with the number 1 on it. Kristoffersen gets to stand on the top step. You know, there's the perfect scenario, Dan Rook, you know, your champion standing on the top step of the podium. That's how you want to celebrate it, isn't it? Ekström got it last year without being on the podium and was still super emotional because, of course, the big target all year is the championship. But to do it with a win is just on another level.
Yeah, I can only imagine. You know, for me, when I had my win in Sweden, being on that top step was just incredible. I can't imagine what it would feel like with a championship as well. It was just
amazing. A world championship, best in the world. He has only 5 FIA world championships. Johan Kristoffersen is the champion of one of them. Ekström, the outgoing world champion. I say he's been a wonderful ambassador for this sport as his time as world champion and in his time with us in the sport. We hope he's going to be sticking around for as long as possible. Same for Sebastian Loeb, 9 times a world rally champion. I wonder if the feeling gets old when you've done it 9 times. I don't know, I doubt it.
No.
But the first is always going to be special.
Of course, yeah. Just no words. Just
amazing. Amazing. Big trophy. His 6th big trophy of the year. He won in Belgium, Norway, Sweden, Canada, France, Latvia. 5 in a row, 6 in a season. The record previously was 5 wins in a season. Solberg in 2014. He's broken that. TQ 4 times in a season, top qualifier. That record was Petter and Timmy in 2015, Ekström in 2016. He's broken that 5 times with his TQ here in Latvia. He's got a podium 9 times in a row. Kristoffersen has not been off the podium since Portugal this year. He only missed it in Spain, and if he hadn't had that issue on the grid, might he have got one there as well. He's a weapon. He's an absolute weapon, and he is the world rallycross champion. There it is, look, written up behind him. This champagne will taste good if he saves any of it. I'm not sure he's getting it.
No. I think that champagne's going to be sprayed everywhere.
Yeah, it certainly is. Look at that little shower from Loeb. Oh, hang on. What's Ekström got lined up for him? He's going in.
Tormenting him.
Yeah, he's waiting. Get the cork out first, at least. Yeah, don't take his eye out. Oh, there we go. So, finally. There we are. Well, what a weekend in Latvia. The weather conditions have changed from dry to wet to damp. That was a save of the weekend from Matthias Ekström. Look at that, loads of opposite lock. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to save the title this season, but he's had his eyes elsewhere, of course. Remember, Audi wanting to focus on the DTM. Matthias, we wish you luck in taking the Deutsche Tourenwagen Masters. We'd love to see you do that. My thanks to Neil Cole and Dan Rook. Dan, have you enjoyed being in the commentary box? I know you loved the driving side, but it's been good being up here, I hope.
Yeah, I've loved it. It's such a unique buzz, and I can see why you do it.
Thank you, mate. We do enjoy ourselves up here. Thank you so much for your input. We'll have Dan Rook back up here, I'm sure, if he doesn't get snapped up for a supercar drive. We are, of course, thinking of Petter Solberg. Bring you an update on that when we have one. Of course, keep your eyes on the official channels for the FIA World Rallycross Championship. Contacting some of the semi-finals, this was Kristoffersson booking his slot through. Baumanis here on the restart for semi-final number 2. Sebastian Loeb was out front. We thought that we might have the pace to be able to match the VWs here, but he couldn't get it done in the end. Baumanis, though, set the crowd wild by making it through to the final, and I thought he might get a podium. Unfortunately, he couldn't quite get it done this time. Sebastian Loeb took it, lined up on the front row. There was Baumanis, paying credit to the crowd. But on to the final, and it was a familiar story. Johan Kristoffersson got the whole shot. He checked out up front. He's broken every single record in the FIA World Rallycross Championships books this year, and he has finally achieved the ultimate goal. Kristoffersson is the 2017 FIA World Rallycross Champion.